I mean, is there an answer to that?
I don't know.
I mean, is there an... I suggest the earth that if there were no God whatsoever, and if no one had even conceived of a creator God, I suggest that the universe would look identical as it does today.
Yeah, look, Lindsay, imagine a world, right? A universe where no gods exist, but people desperately want to believe that they do for various reasons. A world in which, by habit, people lie to each other and lie to themselves, invent myths, hallucinate, and have imaginary friends. What would you expect
Believing
to
in
see?
God is not imaginary friends or a hallucination. As someone who
I'm
does
just
have
saying, imagine
psychosis,
that
it's
world.
not the same.
Imagine the world that I just described, right? A world where no gods exist, but people desperately want to believe that the gods exist or a god exists. What do you imagine that you're not seeing in this world? Because the world in which I just described seems like our world, doesn't it?
Yeah, I guess.
So will you stop believing in God, please?
No,
Why?
because I can't deny that there's no God.
Why?
Why, Lindsay?
Because I feel it inside my soul.
What?
I feel it inside my soul.
You feel like a God exists, therefore God exists.
Yes.
What if I were you to say to you, I feel like there is an invisible, immaterial unicorn standing next to me right now, so I believe that. Wouldn't I sound stupid?
You'd sound hallucinatory.
That's what you sound like to me, Sydney. Or I mean, Lindsay.
Oh, so I sound stupid because I believe in a God.
Well, I mean, maybe if you had a
I
reason to.
don't. I don't think God's a man with a beard and the fucking sky. God is in each and one of us.
In our minds?
Yeah, but that's just like me saying, look, I don't think that the unicorn is
The fucking
magic and can shit
sky.
rainbows and fly, okay? It's just a unicorn. Don't I still sound like a fucking retard?
No.
If I told you that I think that I believe there's a unicorn standing next to me because I feel like there is, I don't sound like retard.
No, I don't think anyone's a retard.
What about people that whose IQ is 68? Do you think they're retards and live in a group home and are so stupid that they have to wear diapers because they can't fucking go to the toilet? They shit on themselves. Do you think they're retards?
No. They're just different. When I was 12, my IQ was 65.
Sydney, can we go on air?
We are.
No, we're not.
We are. I'm doing through OBS. I just started. We just started.
Oh, okay.
But go ahead.
So this is let's beat up Lindsay on
No,
air.
no, no, not at all. We're trying to help you, Lindsay. And not so much help you, but we're trying to help you and everybody that listens to you.
I don't go around preaching that there is a God.
We're not
I don't-
preaching.
What? I don't go around preaching that there's a unicorn standing next to me. Does that mean I should believe that there is?
Just because I don't see it doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
Yeah, just because I don't see the unicorn doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Why don't you believe that there's a unicorn standing next to me?
I don't know if there is or not.
And does it matter?
It's not affecting me. Why
Right.
should it matter?
Well, okay. Well, let me tell you. There are I don't know how many zillions and trillions and billions and gazillions of waves, radio waves and particle waves and gamma rays and X-rays and all this kind of rays passing through your body right now. How is that all affecting you? It's not. It's not affecting you in any way whatsoever. Okay, now this is real stuff. This is existential stuff that actually happens. It actually exists, and it's passing through your body. Stuff that
Okay.
passes through the earth, actually. But it doesn't matter. So, how then would a mere concept in your mind matter?
It matters to me.
Well, the question is how does it matter to you? I know that it matters to you, but how? And why?
It gives me a sense of security.
Sense of security?
Yeah.
Then wouldn't you come across as more secure?
You don't think I'm secure?
Are you?
I'm a strong woman.
But are you secure?
Sometimes.
How about right now? Knowing that, I mean, we've got God on the on the table right now. It's
Lindsay,
under discussion.
I want to talk about God. Can I just interrupt with a personal question, and then we'll get back to God?
Okay.
I don't mean to offend you or anything. Have you ever had sex?
Yes.
With how many people?
I don't know. I didn't count.
Oh, you lost count of how many people?
Yeah. I'm a sex addict.
Oh. Okay. So why do you believe in God?
I don't know why.
Hang on, I'll be right back. Somebody's at my door.
Okay. I think I'm gonna leave soon.
Are you feeling uncomfortable?
I feel like you guys are just attacking me.
Well, that's Godless's style. It's not that she's attacking you. She talks like that to everybody. Don't take it personally. Take it as a debate challenge. That's why we're here. That's why we get online to talk and to exchange ideas. Nothing is personal.
I take everything personal. I have a personality disorder, motherfucker.
Well, in that case, I don't understand how you get yourself to actually join a hangout in the first place. Because you know what's
I came in here
coming.
because I wanted to talk to
I
you.
know, but every time you know what's coming, you take everything in a way that you translate into a personal attack, and then you feel bad and feel shitty about yourself, and then you leave, and then I don't know where you go when you leave, but what's the point?
I go on Facebook.
What do you do on Facebook?
I just scroll and read shit.
It's like Facebook's your drug, man.
It's not my drug. Don't say that. I don't have any drug.
What if you're scrolling on Facebook, okay, and you're reading shit on Facebook, and all of a sudden you come to the end and there's no more to read. You scrolled right through. What happens now?
And then I find something to do.
Well,
like go for a walk, or go swimming, or go on POF.
How often do you go swimming?
Right now, just twice a week.
Because I'm supposed to start that as well, and I'm inching my way, and I don't know. I'm fighting it.
Go early in the morning. There's no one there.
It opens at 5:30. Yeah, you're right. I'm just not comfortable in changing rooms and stuff like that.
Then wear your shorts underneath your clothes and go into like a little enclosure.
Well, the only little enclosure I would imagine, I've never been to this place, but the pool, but I can only imagine that the little enclosure is a toilet stall.
No, they have other enclosures. Because not everyone is comfortable changing in front of people.
Yeah, I'm one of them.
I used to be that way.
I think I'd be comfortable at a nudist reserve or whatever they call them. I'd be
nudist beach.
I'd be more comfortable, yeah, there than in a changing room at a swimming pool.
Why?
I'm back.
Hello.
Hi.
I've just
Do you have
saved.
any kids, Lindsay?
I've just saved Lindsay from having to scroll all the way to the end of Facebook.
Yeah. So, why did you ask me a question if I was a virgin or not?
Because I just like to talk about sex.
Me too.
See,
Oh.
you two have so much in common.
What kind of sex do you like? Do you like to be dominated?
Well, I have sex with both men and women. And a lot of the time when I have sex with women, I'm top.
Okay, whoa. Explain to me that.
So I'm the dominant one because I'm the one that gives most of the time.
Now, does that mean strap-on, or what does that mean?
I don't use toys personally. I just use my hands.
Oh, that's the giving. And okay, well, so top me. I don't get it. Explain to me how this top bottom thing works.
Well, it's versatile. Versatile. That's the word.
Okay. But what exactly is a top? What is a top? What are the restrictions and advantages to being a top?
I don't know. It seems that I give more pleasure than receive it.
Do you ever use a strap-on?
No.
What about when you're with men? Do you like to be dominated then?
No, not really.
Do you like any kinky shit?
Not really.
Would you want to have sex with Sydney?
Yes. I like older guys.
I like older guys too. You want to have a threesome with us, Sydney?
I'm in. Yeah, absolutely.
I gotta get there first,
We'll meet over
and then
at
we'll see
Godless
what
Girl's
happens.
place.
Where does Godless Girl live?
Florida.
Oh, I'm not going there. It's too hot.
That's funny. But if we ever made it down there, is sex talk usually this short?
Tell us a funny sex story, Sydney.
A funny sex story? Um, you've got me.
I got a funny story. So this guy messages me, and he's like, "Hey, how are you doing?" And then he's like, "Do you want to meet up?" And then I'm like, "Who is this?" And he's like, "Clay." And I'm like, "I still have no idea who the fuck you are." And he's like, "I remember you were this chick bragging about sucking cock." And I'm like, and then bailed. And then I'm like, "Can't be me because I don't suck cock." And then he's like, "No, I'm pretty sure you lived in Issue and your name was Lindsay." And I'm like, "Yep, that's me, but I don't live in Issue anymore." And he's like, "Well, come on. How about you leave your door unlocked and then just come in and slide into your bed and start fucking you?" And I'm like, how about not? And say we did. And then he's on texting me every 3 days. He go, "What's up, beautiful?" And I'm like, "Hey." And then he just doesn't message me back. Then he said to me, "Why don't you want to have sex with me?" I'm like, "Well, if you were a girl, I'd be more inclined to have sex with you, but you're not. So I don't want to have sex with you." And he's like, "Oh, I see how it is. I'm used to rejection. I'm a bigger guy." And then I kind of got more attracted to him because I'm into husky guys. And then I said, "Nah, I want to check more." And then he messages me 2 days ago saying, "I got a girl for you. Maybe the three of us can hang out." Then he texted me yesterday and he's like, "What's your address? We'll come over." I'm like, I like the fact that you assume I'm free and you assume that I want to and you assume that I'm home." And at that time, I was not home.
Sydney, how come they can't see us on the live stream?
Because I have a overlay, but I could remove that if you'd like.
Yeah.
Sure. Consider it. Gone. Oops. Consider it. There we go. Gone.
Oh shit, hang on, I got fucking the assholes back at my door. Hang on a second.
I'm going to do something about the other overlay. Just a minute.
Okay, I'm back.
Alrighty.
Do you like sex with men or women? I tried kissing a girl once, but I wasn't really into it. But do you like sex with men or women more?
Women.
You said you're a sex addict. Have you ever been to the Sex Anonymous?
No.
Sex Addicts Anonymous?
No. Because I haven't been having sex lately because sex just makes me feel horrible.
Why?
I don't know. Psychological stuff, I guess.
Like what? It makes you feel dirty or something?
I just feel bad.
Guilty?
Afterwards or during.
You feel guilty?
No.
So when you say you feel bad, what does it mean?
I don't know what I feel like. Last time I had sex with someone, it was really awkward.
Was it a man or a woman?
It was a transgender woman.
Ew, I wouldn't like that.
Why not?
Wait, she was a woman that wanted to be a man?
No, she was a man wanting to be a woman.
Oh.
That sounds confusing.
So she had like tits and a dick?
No, they weren't that far along in transition yet. Just the dick.
Hi, Sugar.
Hi.
Hey, Sugar.
Hey.
Long time no talk.
I know, I've been kind of in and out.
Yeah, I've been in the hospital the last 2 months.
Have you? You doing okay?
Yeah, I'm doing better.
Good.
Sugar, I didn't know how to message you. I wanted to talk to you because I don't really want to talk about it on air, but I had that surgery.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, so can we go into off air sometime and talk about it?
Yeah. What kind of surgery? Which one did you have?
The same one you had.
You sure? Because there's like 6.
No, it was
there's like 6
less
different.
invasive one. The sleeve.
The sleeve or
Yeah.
the vertical gastrectomy or the what do you call it? The little, what is that other one called? The one that they can take off.
No, it's not that. Nobody gets that anymore.
Yeah, that's what I heard. Okay, good.
I haven't
Good one.
seen you around in a long time.
Yeah, I've been trying to keep myself from killing myself, and so I just kind of, hang out. Spend most of my time in Seoul, South Korea, and come home only when I have to.
You're in South Korea?
Yeah, usually.
Why?
I'm at home right now, though. I mean, I'm here in the States. Sorry.
We were just talking about sex.
I know, I was listening. I didn't mean to interrupt. Please continue. I'm sorry to...
Yeah, I tried to get into like, I'm just like totally straight. I tried kissing a woman before and I didn't like it.
Yeah. I think it's not for everybody, that's for sure. It's one of those things that I think that we are a lot more fluid sexually, and I think that most of us would probably settle in heterosexuality for the most part. Even if they like kissing girls, they would probably, or boys, the other one, they would prefer to have a lifelong mate that's the other, to have children and do all that basic stuff. I think we get stopped in puberty because if we have any feelings that are kind of odd, you know, we're told that they're wrong. So I think a lot of people don't explore them and then go sideways. But that's just a guess.
And we were asking Lindsay why she believes in God. And she said that she feels there's a God.
Yeah. Some people just feel better that way, you know, a little bit of faith or whatever makes them feel better.
But she thinks God is evil. It's an evil God.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you read the Bible, it kind of sounds that way. I mean, but...
No, I never said...
What?
Said God was evil.
Oh, Sydney told me you were a male theist.
God
Your mic is cut out.
Yeah. I'm a male theist. I believe in the Abrahamic God, but I believe God is unjust and God is a jerk. I never said God was evil, though.
Oh, okay. I get it. Yeah, I actually would, you know, I mean, if I believed, which I don't believe in that type of God. I mean, I don't believe in any kind of God concept that we have, and I don't think that there is any kind of God, but that's just me. I would think that too, based on what your Bible says. Because I don't understand how you can, how Christianity can call him omniscient when he's clearly not.
That's why I'm not a Christian.
Yeah.
And the Bible's not my book.
Yeah, yeah. I get it. I'm not hating on you. You know, you believe what you... I kind of feel like we should be way past all this, right? We can... people can believe what they want, you know, and we can just all play nice in the yard when we all have to be together, because ultimately, you know, what are we trying to do? I mean, if you believe in a God and there's a God there, then you should trust that God to take care of business. And if God hasn't communicated to people who has to know, then it's not your responsibility. I mean, frankly, if I were a Christian, I'd be screaming a lot, going, "Why is this God making us fight his battles? Why is he making us do all of our work or all of his work? Why are we sitting around worshiping him all day while we're the ones down here starving? He's not hungry. He's not hurting. He's not sick or homeless. Why are we having to do all this?" And then, you know, be called shit. I mean, I would have a real problem with that. But that's just me. That's why I advocate, who cares? Who cares about evolution? Who cares about religion? Who cares about space travel? Let's take care of everybody in the here and now, right? I'm not telling anybody how to live their life. Just, you know, just get everybody fed, clothed, and housed, because there's lots of people out there that are malevolent and they just want to take advantage. They want to prey on people. And you know what? You got to strengthen people, make them strong, give them the tools to be able to battle those people. Otherwise, you end up with a world full of nihilists and people committing suicide and all kinds of shit. Marxist bastards trying to take over.
What? Marxist bastards? What are you talking about? What do you mean by Marxist bastards?
You know.
No.
Marxist bastards.
I don't understand that at all.
People who think that they can do Marxism better than Marx did.
I don't even know what Marxism is.
Neither did Marx.
It sounds like a comedy group.
Exactly.
Have you guys seen the drama between Shani and Rev News?
All day long.
Isn't that fucking hilarious? That's some of the funniest internet drama I've ever seen.
She's histrionic, man. She's like class book histrionic.
Oh my god, it's so funny that you just fucking said that, because the reason I brought it up was I just read a PM from... I was just reading a fucking PM from somebody that messaged me about her, and they said she's she is so easy to trigger just with text, but it isn't triggered. It's just being histrionic.
Yeah.
And I don't even know what histrionic means. What does it mean?
It's exactly how she is. It's just it's overly dramatic. Everything is a big thing. It's like, yeah, everything is a thing, and it's woe is me. It's just
like it's dramatic about little shit.
Really dramatic, yeah. It's overly, you know, like narcissism. You can have people who just really are confident, or you can have narcissistic personality disorder, which is a whole nother thing, right? So histrionic is kind of the same way. It's like you can have people that are dramatic or talkative, but these people are like her. And she may have some other diagnosis. Of course, I'm not a professional, but that is classic histrionic for sure.
But did you see the video? Rev and her both took it off their channels, but somebody called with the Fundy Archive YouTube channel saved it, where it's her watching the video of Rev talking shit about her, so she keeps pausing it and adding comments. Oh my, that was something crazy funny. That's like the best internet drama I've ever seen, and I've seen a lot of shit.
I know. Yeah, I have a harder time. You know, I'm sure you know what I'm about to say. I have a harder time watching that shit because it's just, I got a thing about the mentally ill. I don't like to see anybody suffer, right? And regardless of the way, I mean, I know she's taking this on herself. I understand that. Her mother is in the live chat so often, egging her on and joining in on it. And I think there is nothing more fucked up in the world, right? I've almost stopped caring about anybody anymore, because I spent my whole life caring about people and making sure everybody's happy, and fuck that. Nobody gives two shits about anybody else, so hell, I'll go down with the ship. But, you know, it's still hard for me to watch sometimes, but I don't take pleasure in it, but it is quite interesting. But I'm not.
Can you invite her here?
What's that?
Can you invite Shani in here?
I did.
Oh, she won't come. She won't, because she knows that nothing productive would happen. That it wouldn't be about that.
I would be nice to her.
Oh, I don't doubt you would. I mean, if you didn't that's on you. Not, you know, I'm not here to police anybody. I mean, just because I feel a certain way doesn't mean anybody else has to feel that way or act that way. You know, everybody's free to roam about the cabin.
I guess Rev News said Nadia is living in a homeless shelter, but she's gonna get her surgery pro bono or something.
Is she? Well, she could have had it so long ago when the Medicare, but she wouldn't go to the appointments, and she, you know. I don't know. It seemed like this was before you got here. And I don't know if you were watching back then, but it's just, you could not tell her anything. You'd look it up the information about what's covered, and she wouldn't go to her appointments, and, you know, she never was going to pass. Her hands were too big. And I mean, she'd get all upset about her voice being deep, and I'd go, yeah, really? Well, listen to my voice, and I was born with a vagina. You know, tell me something else. I got huge hands and huge feet too. But, you know, it's the way it goes.
Yeah, I feel sorry for her, though, because I've been there where I'm so depressed where I can't do anything. I can't even get out of bed.
Oh, I'm with you. I get it. I didn't get it. I don't think I got it as much then, though. Like, this has been my worst year. I've never been like this before. And so, even though I was compassionate, I really couldn't empathize because I had never been there. But I do definitely get it now. Sucks to sit around and destroy yourself, you know, over shit that you didn't start anyways.
Lindsay says she won't have sex with Sydney.
Yeah, why wouldn't you?
That's cute.
I mean, Sydney's a good-looking guy. He's very passionate.
I bet Sydney treats women good.
Oh, no. He treats them like crap. He'll choke you out. Grudge fuck you. Won't you, Sid? Won't you, you dirty boy?
That's what you want, honey.
That's right. That dirty boy.
I just want you to be Horny.
Hey, I'm in line, honey. These two women, they had dibs on you first. I'm just gonna have to watch for a while,
No,
which is fine. Which is fine by me.
Goddess hasn't committed.
She will.
No, she's not allowed to. She's being monitored. Otherwise, I'm sure she would. No doubt.
You know, someday. Look out. I bet she's got some passion too. So you like to be
dominated during sex.
Me too.
Vane Bean, the one in the live chat, is the one that had just messaged me about Shanny being histrionic when then you said the same thing.
Vane's a pretty smart guy. He's a real smart guy. That's funny. Yeah, I like the domination thing too. For sure. There's the School of Life, that their videos that are on YouTube. Have you ever seen them?
No.
They're from the UK, and they're it's called the School of Life. It's got little tiny short videos. They're like 4 to 6 minutes long, but they're really, really cool. And they're just on everything. It could be from sex to philosophy to science, anything, all kinds of stuff, social stuff. And they've got one on sexual defilement. It's very interesting. Very interesting. I thought, wow, I've never thought of it like that, but it's actually quite an intimate thing. It's not just, you know, what people would think, oh, you just like to be shit on or something, but it's not going that far. But when you can sink down to that low point with another person and share in that depth of intimacy, it's supposed to be good stuff. I'm down with that sickness, that's for sure.
What sickness?
The defilements.
Oh.
It's kind of a little play on words, down with the sickness. And people think that defilements. Never mind. I have no sense of humor. I'm gonna have to work on that. So what else have you been doing, Godless?
Do you remember the realistic nihilist?
Yes.
Yeah,
I see him quite often.
We live together now.
You do?
Yeah, he moved to Florida.
Wow.
Yeah, when we first got together, he was having an affair with me while cheating on his wife, and then his wife caught him. And so he moved to Florida.
Do you think he's going to do that to you?
No.
Why?
I've never trusted. I trust him more than I've ever trusted anybody, actually. He's so devoted to me. We're both devoted to each other. We treat each other so good. It's like I was always a fucking piece of shit to my exes. And I had domestic violence and everything, and we're just our relationship is so healthy. We have such good communication.
Good. Yeah, it happens, you know, that you can get a good relationship off that more times than not. Then it ends up the other way around. But if you got a good feeling about it, then I'm sure you know what you're doing. That's good. He's a nice guy. I remember when we, you know, all first came here, he and I had a chat one day. It was really nice. He was just very smart, very polite, you know, and he's wicked smart, and, you know. Is he cute? I don't think I've ever seen him.
Yeah.
Good. Well, best of luck to you.
Thank you.
How are you adjusting to your new weight loss?
I feel so fucking energetic.
Yeah. Have you?
I was so lazy.
Oh yeah, I know. I was lazy, but I was in spurts because I was working on the ambulance at the time. Have you sabotaged yourself yet?
I don't follow the diet at all. I eat whatever I want, but I can only eat such little amounts I can eat, so it doesn't even matter.
Yeah. And the only thing that I think is the most important thing is just take your vitamins and your water. That everything else you'll get fine, but that's where I fucked myself.
Yeah, that's exactly what I have. Exactly what I struggle with. I don't mind talking about it on air, I guess. I am so dehydrated all the fucking time.
Yeah.
And I cannot drink enough water. Like, if I want to stay hydrated, I would just always have to be sipping water. But yeah, I don't take my vitamins enough, and I'm vitamin D deficient now.
Yeah, me too. I have to take 50,000 IUs. I would strongly suggest, because you're a young woman, I'm not a lot older, but because now I have osteoporosis pretty bad, and it's so easy. There's also liquid, and you know Citracal, right? So you can only use calcium citrate. The others are not absorbable enough, so don't even bother with them.
Yeah, I think that's what I got.
It's the work. It's been 16 years for me, and it's still a struggle every day. But I look back now and I think if that's the only thing I had to do over again, I definitely would do that. Because I didn't know how I was going to change and what was going to go on. But that definitely that's something I really regret. And I take shitty care of myself.
Me too.
I mean, I will. So it's not like I do anything right, because I do everything wrong. But it's just, it is the way it is. But I would definitely do that over. Hello, camera issue. Ugh.
But I got to get the cosmetic surgery, especially for my boobs.
Yeah, that's gonna be.
My boobs are really bad.
Yeah, mine were too. I had mine redone. If the skin is thin and if you've lost a lot of weight by the time that you get that done, get the silicone. Don't waste your time with the saline, because they ripple.
Yeah, I went to this one. It was like called the Cosmetic Center, Surgery Center of South Florida or something. It was so trashy there. The fucking doctor saw me for the consultation and saw me for 5 minutes and didn't even explain the difference between the silicone and the other one.
Yeah,
that's the only consultation I have, but I'm not going back to that fucking place.
Is it going to be covered by insurance, or do you have money to pay for it cash?
Oh no, my original surgery wasn't even covered.
Really?
Yeah, they would. If I wanted my insurance to cover it, they torture you. They want you to lose all this weight to show that you're gonna follow the diet and
30 pounds.
Go to see a psychiatrist and shit. I'm not going through that, so I just self-paid.
Oh, it was so easy. All they want to know is that you're not schizophrenic or bulimic or anorexic. That's the only thing they care about. It's the easiest thing in the world. I lost the 30 pounds eating Carl's Jr., the big burgers without the bun. 2 of those a day, and water only. Wait, that way. And then, of course, I had the surgery. But that whole process is so simple. It's too simple, because too many people, if they don't have the surgery that you had and that I had, they have the Roux-en-Y, they're screwed.
Did you have the full gastric?
Yeah, the biliopancreatic diversion, the DS, duodenal switch.
Oh, they got this new thing now where they put a balloon in your stomach or some shit, but it's only temporary.
Yeah.
That's garbage. It sounds like garbage.
Well, the problem is if you don't take care of the reason why people overeat, if you don't take care of the psychological issue, because that's what it is. This is our drug, right? And some of us double and triple up, right? But this is our coping mechanism. And if you don't take care of that, I mean, when you're done with surgery and you're done losing your weight, if you still have money problems, abuse problems from childhood, if you have CPTSD, any of that, it's all going to still be there. The only thing is you're going to be in a size 4. And,
right.
It's that people keep gaining their weight back and they go, oh, my surgery didn't work. My doctor's a quack. I don't know what happened, as they're throwing down a second cheeseburger.
Right. Yeah, my cosmetic surgery is getting like $25,000. So I think they're only going to do, they're going to do my boobs and my arms first, because if to get it all done is too much at once.
Yeah, mine was $14,000 for the boobs and the arms and a lift. But South Korea is the best in the world at plastic surgery, and it's sometimes half price, and they are far superior to us, and it does not cost that much to get there.
Oh, what are you doing in South Korea?
Hanging out.
Do you know people there?
Nope.
Oh, you just want to be there?
Yeah, I like it there. Huh?
For fun?
Well, I don't socialize, so I'm just there for me. I prefer the I prefer, they're a lot calmer there. I mean, they're just calm people, and they're packed in there, right? They're packed, they work hard, they drink hard. Every time I come back, there's somebody at the airport, an American or somebody that's been there, and they're like dead. They're like, I can't keep up with them, because they're just, you have to go out after work. And it's a very, it's a really interesting place because it's very, very modern, but yet there's a lot of tradition, and they do their own thing, but yet they follow some very strict society rules. Like, they just don't fuck with each other. If they run into each other, like, because everybody's got a cell phone, they walk with the cell phone, and they're all into their social. Great clothes. Ugh, the shopping over there is just ridiculous. Makeup. Korean men spend more money on makeup than Western women do.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
So
is there fear of North Korea attacking?
no, now there is. Now that we've, not us, I mean, not them. He's not going to attack South Korea. He's trying to get the bomb over to us. Thanks
America?
to fucking Trump. Yeah, where I stay is 29 miles from the DMZ.
Oh,
I'm
Jesus
never safer.
Christ. That's fucking close. I would be scared.
Oh, hell no. There's no reason to be scared. I go to the bakery at 11:30 at night. You can walk anywhere, anytime. It is so safe there. It's ridiculous. That's why I come back here and I'm like, you guys are wrong. And oh, no, we know I'm like, okay, whatever. It's just ridiculous. You know, that man's being used as a pawn, which is fine. He's a madman. But the people of North Korea, they suffer. So the superpowers can have this pawn to play with. They got rid of bin Laden. Get rid of him. Let's move on. But they don't want to, because that fucks up that whole Chinese, Russia, America bullshit. And now we've just got another madman. Did you see what this president's done? He set up his own news channel. Just like the communists do, the propaganda machine. I mean, I don't know if anybody else realizes what that means. I mean, that's just stupid. And we just sit back and we watch it and we laugh. Ha ha ha, more for SNL. Ha ha ha. You know, more for Seth Meyers to joke about. It's just, I don't get it. The fuck? I guess when the mushroom cloud goes up, somebody will go, oh shit. Fuck, who cares? Keeping a little needle by my bed, and when I see the mushroom cloud, I'm just gonna pop a vein and go. Bye-bye.
We all moved over to Discord. Do you want to come on Discord?
I am over there.
Oh.
But I mean, I haven't been in months, but I'm already signed up and in there. No, I don't have anything to debate with these guys. You know that. It's not. I don't have any
debating though.
Yeah, but the rest of the stuff, you know, that's just not my thing. I mean, I listen to you guys, and I have fun listening to you guys. You know,
we still chase Darwin's deity around.
Yeah, I know.
Do you ever see him anywhere that we don't know about?
Yeah, but I wouldn't tell you guys if I did find him. I think it's so much garbage. Because it's just, he's just such a waste of time. I mean, I sit over there. Oh, I know. I sat over there and trolled him for 3 days.
Come on, he loves it.
Look, I think the guy is not worth it. Besides, I think I know who he is anyway, so it's just it's like, it's no fun anymore. It's like, I don't care.
You're right, Sugar. He's not worth it. It's so overrated.
Oh, Lindsay, where do you see him? Lindsay, where do you see him?
I mostly just see him in Hangouts.
Whose Hangout?
I don't know. If I was a moderator, I'd kick his ass out.
Even
well, you gotta be fair to the guy.
Even MK kicked him out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, now
I saw him in Armando's Hangout.
Oh, thanks, Lindsay.
Antonio, I want a piece of Antonio. That's what I want. And that fucking little bastard Carlos that's hides behind Darwin all day long. That kid.
Haha, Rojo?
Yes.
No, Carlos. No, that's Josiah. I'm talking about Carlos.
Oh, you're right.
No, I know. They're just ridiculous.
Carlos goes
That's
in
stupid.
all to his glories hangout.
Yeah, he kicked me from there. First time.
Oh.
I mean, it's got like 4 words out. And he spent like 3 days trying to get me to come in there. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
It's like,
what?
I'm low-hanging fruit, buddy. You get no points for kicking me out. You know? I don't know. I got kicked out of Carlos's room. The last time I was in with Darwin's Deity, I was in Carlos's room, and I was telling him off, and I looked in the side chat, and somebody goes, "She's kicking his ass," and boom, I got kicked. So then I was in another hangout with somebody else. He came in, and it was off air, and everybody was sitting there talking, and I went, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" I said, "You know, people are listening to you. You affect the world." And he just like looked. I just went off on him. I'm like, the game is over. I don't think he believes not one damn bit of that. There's just no integrity in it. I mean, if you're gonna be an asshole, just be an honest asshole. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, to what end is what's Jack gonna do? I mean, what's Jack's end game? Right?
To
It just
stop
seems like
him,
it's
to bully him off the internet, probably.
But Jack is exactly what the philosophers talked about. If you stare into the abyss long enough, you become it.
No,
Jack's no different anymore.
I absolutely disagree.
I know you. I know
Jack
because you have that.
Jack is doing a great job. Jack is doing exactly what he should be doing, ridiculing the fuck out of the whole religion and everything that's in its wake.
Look, I have no problem with that. Right, with that part of it. Yeah. I fail to see the difference lately. But, I know I'm the odd man out, so disregard everything I say. I know.
Sydney, who's Armando and Carlos, these hangouts that they're talking about?
Who's what?
Well,
Armando
Armando doesn't have
with Darwin.
hangouts anymore.
Oh.
Yeah, I haven't seen him
But
for a while.
the
Carlos
people,
hangs out
they're
with Darwin.
flat earthers.
Oh.
That's funny.
You'll find a lot of people at MK watching MK. MK goes live all the time.
Yeah, he's not allowed MKs anymore.
What about you guys know about Darwin's channel, right? And that he does, what is it? He does atheist Jeopardy or whatever.
Yeah, he's got a Discord server. I went on it actually. I joined.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I've seen the Atheist Jeopardy, but I'm not allowed in it.
So no, I joined it, and I sat there for a few minutes, and they saw me, and then they started talking about me, and of course the first thing that Darwin's Deity said was also, I'm nothing nice about. I'm an old fucking recluse who he's the stupidest atheist I've ever met in my life, but absolutely the dumbest, literally that. This goes right on and on. Anyway.
He says that about everybody.
No, he says that about me. Oh, and he sits online and smokes pot all the time. This is what he does. I just wanted to say this. I'm not judging, but anyway, so I left the server.
Bullshit.
I left the server. What the fuck?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, he doesn't ever say anything bad about me, but he lets them all the rest of his little minions sit out there and call me a cunt and just a whore and all kinds of stuff. It's like, are these words coming out of their mouth? It's like,
I want to talk about these fundies and their minions. Let's name a fundy and see if you can name the minion. All right.
Well,
G-Man.
G-Man, who's his minion? Veckel.
Veckel, yeah. And then Carlos runs. He runs double, doesn't he? He goes between Darwin and what did you say, Lindsay? All for his glory or something?
Yeah,
All for his glory
sure.
alone. Now he totally. I'm not allowed anywhere near him.
No, he's a piece. He is a piece of work. I don't get it. And have you? I don't know if you've noticed, Christian Hillbilly. I'll tell you what. I always stood up for the guy. I thought he was pretty nice, except he'd go off on a gay tangent every once in a while, and or he'd insult Nadia, and I come unglued, as everybody would. But he thinks he's Darwin's deity, and he's running his rhetoric and stuff. It's like, it's stupid. Now,
Darwin's deity is Greg Bonson. Okay, so Darwin's deity's done his homework. He's learned his lines from Greg Bonson. That's exactly what he does. And that's what and Christian Hillbilly is just a motor mouth bullshitter.
Yeah, I think you should go after Christian. Yeah, you should go after him. Godless.
He doesn't have a minion. Have you noticed?
No, but he will, because they like that. Christian Hillbilly will. Some new little fundy will come along. Maybe Carlos will decide that he needs 3 daddies instead of just 2.
You know what I find? I just want to say this. And I consider this a victory for atheism, right across the spectrum. I remember about, I don't know, maybe 2 years ago, having countless arguments with a guy on the internet named Seamus999. The guy was a Christian.
I remember Seamus.
He was
Seamus is an agnostic now.
Yeah, right.
Yes, Seamus is not a Christian anymore. But he would argue with me about the Christian this and the Christian that and the la 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 la. And every time I would come up with, my usual, you don't know that, you pretend to know things you don't know, la la la, God is impossible. The whole thing that my whole shtick. And he would flip his lid. Because I couldn't understand. I couldn't grasp his Jesus Christian God concept. And now he himself has renounced it.
Seamus he thought about the problem of evil after his cat died and became agnostic.
But I know he said, I was listening, because I'm also on Discord a lot, and I listen, and in criticism, just listening. I got server muted once when I spoke up, so I just don't say anything anymore. But I listen a lot.
Wasn't that one of the... Sorry.
And he said, no, I'm just saying that Seamus said, I'm not a Christian. He actually said it.
Do you remember, Godless or Lindsay or you, did you see the night that he got on his sailboat and he took off?
The drunk night?
And he was all... Huh? The drunk,
He was drunk. Yeah, I was in the hangout.
Yeah, that was one of the best things. I'll never forget that.
Who did that?
And I was
that's
all
when he
worried about him.
God.
Yeah, and I was all worried about him. I honestly was worried about him. I almost bought a fucking plane ticket to go out there, and I was out of my mind.
How do you have money to just be like chilling in South Korea?
I run drugs.
Are you joking?
I'm a drug dealer.
She hides the powder in the Botox.
I don't know what to tell you. I mean, kind of. Yeah.
She got a very good annuity and pension plan.
That's cool if you're telling the truth. That makes you really cool.
To be a drug dealer?
Yeah.
I've always wanted to be cool, and I never have been. So I'm good. I'm good.
No wall can stop this.
I run the Sinaloa cartel. Actually, though, it is actually a Zionist thing. And so the Jews actually run all the.
So, are you saying that Benjamin?
What kind of
we hooked up with the Amish. We hooked up with the Amish because they were running a lot of coke.
Hold on a minute.
We didn't
so
really
Benjamin Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel, actually runs the Sinaloa cartel?
Oh, Benji's the worst. Are you kidding? The whole thing, never do your own stash, right? It's like, he can't
I mean, the guy's in enough trouble it is for bribery and corruption in his own country with Americans.
Now you know why.
Oy vey.
I tried to get him to rehab. He goes, oi, rehab's for losers. It's for quitters. I'm not a quitter. Well, sugar, that's what he is. Yeah.
Tell me more about this Rev News guy, because he always loses his shit with me when I'm in a chat room or whatever with him.
Well, I think Rev is a really nice, kind guy. He is very sweet. I think he really believes in his religion, and he believes the things that he believes in, and he's quite affected by them. And I know he's lost his mother as well, and he's misses her quite a bit.
Well, the other night, a couple of weeks back, during one of Shani's crisis hangouts, we were both in the side chat, and he told me he typed in there to eat shit and die. I'm just wondering. I'm just wondering if
he's still a man.
I'm talking about the same person that you're talking about.
Yeah, because, well, I'll tell you why. Because he also has the same struggles that everybody has, and when a few conditions get right, he's been known to be upset, just like anybody else. I'm being fair, obviously. But yeah, he screamed at me before.
Showers. Sugar's like, I don't have any comments on that.
I don't, because first of all, I don't spend any time with him. I don't know. I haven't seen him, but just that one time. How could I comment on that? So I couldn't. It would just be mean gossip, and I don't know it. If you know it, then you know it.
No, I'm just saying what he looks like.
But I don't know. He and I have a lot of music in common, and I've always enjoyed listening to music with him, and we both are like metalheads and like all that stuff, and he's got great taste in music. Fantastic. I'm gonna be quiet now. You guys, I ruin everything. I know. Sorry.
No, you don't. I think our hangout was about to die before you came in.
No, you guys are having a good conversation. That's why I came in.
Oh, are you saying I didn't welcome you? Welcome, Sugar, to the...
How did you get that? How did you get that from what I said? No, you were having a good conversation. That's why I came in.
I wanted to welcome you.
Thank you. I feel bad that I interrupted.
Get Rose Patton in here.
I have not seen her forever. She's still around?
I don't know.
I've added her. I'm trying to think of all the Christians that I know to add, and I've added Holy Spackle.
Oh, Holy Spackle!
Oh, I dare that bitch.
Me and her don't
I
get
fucking
along.
hate Holy Spackle.
Come on in.
Come on in. Come on, Deirdre. Chicken.
She's a fucking pussy. She won't come in here with us in here.
Yeah.
Oh, she will. Oh, she will. Yeah.
Then get her in here. Shit. Sydney, you got to get us in a hangout together.
I'm trying. I tell you what. I'll make this.
Don't set me up.
I'll make this commitment that this this format will be available on a daily basis. So if today happens to be inconvenient, tomorrow might be more convenient, or the next day.
Yeah. When I started doing my little YouTube videos again, she subscribed to me when she hadn't been subscribing to me forever, right? Which is fine. And she starts commenting. She knows what she did. She knows what the truth is. And she fucking starts commenting. I'm like, what's your end game?
What, negative comments?
Yeah. Well, and they're right on the edge, right? And I'm like, just talking to her and like letting her go, let her do her thing, whatever. Like, what do you want? You know, my whole life I've been nice to people, even when they've been mean to me, right? And no longer. So I just gave her the business every time, and she just wants to say, "Oh well, you started talking to me." I'm like, "Fuck you, damn proof. You know it's a damn lie." I just had it.
Yeah, that's what she does with me. Is she started the shit originally, and she fucking keeps it up, but she tries to make out like she's the victim.
Yeah, so much bullshit. Yeah, and then but if she comes, maybe she'll bring Renee with her. You come too, Renee. Fuck you up as well. Why don't you bring Hermine while you're at it, and I can take all three of you cunts out at the same time.
I like Hermine.
That's
Or mean
that's
isn't
good.
dishonest.
Oh, you would be so wrong. You'd be so wrong. But you know, if she's honest to you, then that's good. I got no, you know, I'm never one of those people that says don't be friends with somebody. You do what you want. You know, you're a grown ass woman. I don't play those little games. Like, whatever. Come on in. Let's play. But they won't. They won't play fair. If they like you said, they won't even come in. But if they would, they wouldn't play fair. So not fair, but you know, proper fight. I got my lips done in Korea the first time. I looked so ridiculous. You should have seen them. They were so ridiculous. But that was just the doctor I was at. But you can get a lot of... The what?
A lip liner tattoo.
Yeah. I don't have it yet. I'm thinking about that. I just had my lips done for the second time. I'm not a real fan of it on me, but what's today? On the 10th, I'm going to get filler, a little bit of filler here in my cheeks, and because I just got another round of Botox all around there. I love it. Botox is fucking fantastic. Fantastic.
And that's only temporary,
right? Yeah.
Isn't laser surgery for wrinkles better than Botox?
I'm gonna do the laser resurfacing as well, but they're both good. Oh, see?
That's what I thought. It was godless. Girl, you are fabulous. Why the fuck have you never been on cam before?
Oh, well, I lost a lot of weight, but I was just saying that I think you're honest. I just said, did you hear me say that?
No.
And I said, no.
Whatever. Okay, good for you, girl. Although I do have to talk shit about your cricket and somebody's cell phone. I'm like, you are so wrong.
Yeah. I don't have any defense for that.
Yeah, okay, good.
What are you talking about?
So, sugar, I can't eat a lot, right? I can only eat. So I go out to eat all the time at restaurants, right? And I order whatever I want. I try to order the most expensive thing, actually, and then I buy crickets from the pet shop, and I put the cricket in the food, and you can't even tell I ate anything off the plate because I eat such a little amount, and I say to them, ew, I found a cricket in my food, and then they discount the whole bill, including my boyfriend's.
Oh, God.
But this restaurant caught us.
And what am I supposed to say? Good job?
This restaurant caught us. Hermie, did you hear about that?
A restaurant caught you?
Yeah, it was on Facebook. Everybody's got the video too. This restaurant they made us pay for the whole thing because I don't know how the fuck they knew, but they were so confident that bug did not come from them. So I went and I was posting all these bad reviews about them all over the internet, including on Facebook. And then the owner responded on Facebook, and we had this fucking Facebook war. And then they posted the video, the camera footage of me fucking putting.
Oh, that was the video.
Oh,
like, who took that video?
So no, everybody people on Discord have the video because now the Facebook posts were deleted, but people saved the video of me putting the cricket in the food.
Holy shit! I was like, oh my god! And then what was it with this girl's cell phone that you found?
Okay, so the cricket thing is, it's like, yeah, I'm scamming the restaurants, but it's still kind of innocent. But the cell phone thing, I actually feel guilty about that. Like I have no defense. It was just pure evil.
It was. I was like, holy shit, never let that girl within an inch. Although I don't know who puts nudes on their phone. Like, hello.
So, Sugar, I found this bitch's cell phone in the bathroom, right? She was a hot girl, too. And she had her face, she didn't have a lock on the phone. She had her Facebook on there and all these nude pictures that she had sent her boyfriend. I fucking sent her nude pictures. I posted them to her Facebook account, and I sent them to everybody in her contact list. And I broke up with her boyfriend in text messages, and then I was hitting on her brother, the boyfriend's brother, and the boyfriend's brother was flirting back with her.
Oh, I didn't hear those parts. Oh my god. Did she just about die?
She must have, like, that's something that, like, that must have just like permanently traumatized. Like that's something that she has to deal with for such a long period of time. Like people asking, why did you send me these nude pics?
Oh.
You know?
So are you technically a sociopath?
No, because I feel remorse about it.
Well, then you should be a sociopath, not a psychopath. I mean, one or the other.
Oh well, I think I have what's called borderline borderline personality disorder, where you lack empathy. That
personality disorder.
Yeah, that doesn't mean you never feel any empathy, but I lack empathy.
Right. Yeah, I know quite a few people that have borderline, and it's difficult. It's difficult. You know, that's a hard line to toe.
Well, I want to see.
But I hear that you can learn to use your empathy, kind of the same way people with autism use theirs as well. But you know what? It's more common than you think.
How many sizes did you lose? Like, you don't have to say the weight, but like, what size are you now?
I'm like size 11.
Okay, and do you want to lose more? Will you lose more?
I'll probably lose a little more, but I'm gonna lose more because I'm gonna have skin removal surgery.
Oh, okay. Okay, good. Okay.
How long has it been since you've had the surgery?
Exactly a year.
Oh wow, good for you.
Actually, 13 months now.
Yeah, I lost like 150 pounds in 10 months, and they had to go in for surgery, and they had to stop it. They had to slow it down because I couldn't stop losing weight. And I went from like a 10 to a 4 in and I was so pissed because I had never been that thin before. It was just ridiculous.
Now,
it was hanging. It was.
Surgery did you get?
Gastric sleeve. So it's just titanium staples, really. But it's not like the full gastric bypass. They shorten your long intestine and stuff. So I didn't have any of that.
That's what I have. You have that. You have the half of it. Yours is better. And they just started doing yours when I had mine, and I could have had it, but I didn't know enough about it. So, but it's good that you had that one.
I mean, I live with a realistic nihilist.
I know. Oh. Yeah, I went into Discord for like, I don't know, must have been an hour or two, like for the first time in like that group anyway. And I just haven't been on Hangouts or anything much. And so, yeah, I was learning a lot of stuff.
So, Sugar, do you know about the Mina thing?
Oh, what happened with Mina?
Mina, so
who?
I know, Sugar, I know you don't like Annabelle, but I called out Mina for being a catfish because she was sending this really hot picture of this girl. I can post a link to it, that she's not that girl. And she was flirting with all these guys. Mina, what was another name she went by?
I don't remember. I don't remember Mina.
Oh, yes.
And she would she would sit in the house and talk about sex all the time, but never get on camera. And she had all these men telling her that they loved her and shit. So I called her out for being a catfish. And actually, Annabelle was my biggest ally in that she joined me in this crusade against Mina. And Mina promised, she said she won't get on cam and she won't tell us the reason, but she promised to get on cam in May of this last year. And when May came around, she didn't get on cam and she disappeared from the community because she's a fucking catfish.
Probably. She wouldn't be the first, won't be the last.
I understand why she just wouldn't get on cam and want a non-hangout on air.
What is a catfish?
I told her you don't even have to get on cam. You just have to take a picture of you holding up the peace sign, and she couldn't do it. She's a fucking catfish.
Or anybody who goes online and pretends to be someone else good-looking, meanwhile they're an ugly troll.
Sid wants to know what a catfish is.
Yeah, no, she told me. Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Tries to lure in.
My audio's going sideways.
Hey,
sorry.
Sid, how are you?
Oh, I'm much the same, thank you.
Okay, good.
I don't like holy spackle, Hermine.
You know what? I like her, but I can take her in doses only. I think she's an awesome person, but boy, is she an instigator, a shit starter like you wouldn't believe. Why don't you like her?
She started shit with me, just like usually in the live chat, just like petty bickering, and she always then I turn around and I go really hard on her, and she's like, oh, like she's the fucking victim.
Did you tell her, shut up, bitch, shut up, bitch, shut up, bitch?
Yeah, I'm not like that anymore. I've actually changed a lot. I'm not abrasive like I used to be.
Ever. You and your, it was the shut up bit. You went from Muslim days to shut up to like, you've changed so much. It's so.
Yeah.
Shit now, so you can calm the fuck down.
What about you? How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
You still live alone?
Yeah, well, I still have roommates because, you know, my daughter's in college, so I'm still renting my rooms, but I still have my boyfriend that everyone calls Chip, and it's just fabulous. And I was just there. I left on, Friday night, and then he comes in a week or maybe a week and a day from now for...
Oh, you guys don't live in the same state?
No. And so we do a lot of travel. I love it because my rewards card, I have like 68,000 miles. So I can't wait to go somewhere cool.
What airline?
Southwest.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's better than United, that's for sure.
Yeah, and stuff is cheap. And you get your bags and you get a carry-on. I don't care anymore that I have to, you know, I get herded in like cattle. Like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Better than being pulled off a plane and my teeth knocked in and all that.
They're a mess. I hate them.
Well, Spirit Airlines, the first class on Spirit Airlines is cheaper than coach on the other ones. So I do that.
Wait, which one's Spirit? Is that the one where you have to pay for the seat, pay for your luggage, pay for like everything?
Yeah, they charge for everything, but it's still, I like their first class better than coach on the other ones, so that's why I do it.
Got it.
There's my bandwidth is a mess. There's an app called Skyscanner. Sorry, it's Skyscanner. I got a ticket from San Francisco to Frankfurt, Germany for $80, and then it was another $70 for the bag, but it's still $150. It was with WOW Airlines, which is out of Iceland. But if you're really flexible on your dates,
Skyscanner is the app.
Yes, you can
get right now.
Well, let me tell you why this is so interesting. Because if you like wherever you live, you use that as your starting point, obviously, and then you type in your destination, type in the word everywhere.
Yeah.
Right. It will give you every cheap thing, and sometimes you can hop your way across for way cheaper, and sometimes they're direct. You just have to play with it for a while. It's not for convenience. I mean, it's not for when you need to go someplace right away, but when you've got time to plan and you've got a little flexibility, yeah, it's really good.
Well, yeah, I'm so against credit cards because I pay cash.
Me
but
too.
I finally got one because
I got a little Visa myself.
I wanted the mileage because even if I don't use it on the airfare, because apparently I can get this app and get cheap airfare, I can use it on hotels and other shit.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna look into this because I want to start traveling more. I'm like, dude, this is ridiculous. I ain't got nothing but a couple plans.
It's awesome. It is really good. And you know, I'm an Expedia Gold member, and that brings you some perks every once in a while. And if anything happens while you're out, you just call up and say, I'm a gold member, and they go, we'll take care of it all.
Got it.
They're really good.
One of the things I was looking at was real estate in Europe, and maybe you can help because you've traveled some places. I found some places like in downtown Athens, like 2 bedrooms for like $60,000 US.
Yeah.
Found some in Europe. The only thing I'm worried about is the taxes.
Well, I don't know. And I don't know that I would worry about the taxes as much because anybody can answer that. I would worry about more about the unrest. I mean, what do you know about I don't know. So I have to default to somebody else on that one. I mean, I know things are rough.
I'll take the risk because what I was going to do is I think during the on season, like the summer months, I'm going to Airbnb it.
Oh,
and
gosh, that is such a good idea.
I was just going to let a immigrant, like a refugee family, it to kind of for a good deal to kind of get started in the area. You know what I mean? Just something safe for like 8 months, and then after the 8 months is up, you got to figure something out.
Yeah, you know, I was watching you know that show Adam Ruins Everything. Have you ever seen that? It's on YouTube. He's got a podcast and he's got a show that's like really quick. It's only like 20 minutes or whatever. But they do all kinds of different subjects. And they just did one on Airbnb, and they were talking about Los Angeles because Los Angeles is having a real problem with Airbnb because everybody's kicking their renters out or not renting to people again in lieu of, and then they just, you know, do the Airbnb and they only have to do it for a fraction of the days.
Exactly.
But, yeah. And you know what else there is? I mean, I don't know if you got, or either of you, any of you know about this. There is a huge network of house sitters in the world. And there are always house sitting opportunities. It usually involves taking care of an animal. Like there was a woman in Beijing that needed someone to stay in her apartment for 2 months and take care of her cat. Free. So you're not paying any rent or anything. But there are people that live from house sitting to house sitting, and that's what they do. They don't even have a permanent residence. They never pay rent, and they just live from house to house to house. And I thought that is really interesting. I mean, if all your worlds came together and you had that kind of flexibility. But France, Belgium, Costa Rica, I mean, some of them are big ranches, Hawaii.
Wow.
Yeah, there's one in Hawaii right now. I applied for it, and it's in October for 4 weeks. There's another app called Couch Surfing, and they do those things too. They do trading as well. Like you can trade, you know, your house for a month or.
Yeah, I would think I was thinking about the trading. I might have to explore this app more, the house, but I don't know. I'd probably do the trading really easily, but I live kind of in the suburbs. I don't live like in a metropolitan, so sometimes that's harder, you know.
Yeah, I think it just depends on, and I haven't done it yet. Not the couch surfing, so I don't know that much about it. I mean, there could be a call for that.
And the only thing about house sitting is I'm allergic to cats. But you know, if someone has a dog, fine. But I ain't fucking with cats.
Well, you would know what you were getting into before you went in there. Sometimes it's horses. I mean, it can be anything.
Oh right, yeah, no.
Yeah, but you'd know that before you got there because they do the whole process. They really check you out and, you know, just make sure that they pick you.
Right.
So you'd know what, yeah. That's if I didn't have those grandkids, and I love them, don't get me wrong, but I would be out of here. I would just be living from one house to another. Right.
Okay, let's see here. So, 1 second.
Yeah, I mean, I've gotten round trip tickets to Korea for South Korea and back. I think I spent less than $450.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and you can find all kinds of different prices depending on what your needs are. Like if you're going there, I don't mingle with people very well, so I mean I like to have my own little private space at least. But you can get stuff fairly inexpensive, and it's nice there or anywhere. I mean, there's always hostels or pensiones, or I guess in Europe they're smaller and.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's cool. Okay, hold on 1 sec. I just I ordered 50 pairs of those sunglasses for the elliptic. You know what I'm talking about, for the solar eclipse.
Yeah.
And that's because they're the ones that NASA approves, because you know how people are just selling bullshit now?
Yeah.
To make people go blind and shit. And so I put it up on Facebook like, hey, I have 40 pairs left. And everyone's been pinging me. So now I just got to update my post so people know that there's only 5 left.
Yeah. And, you know, as you travel, by the way, because I don't know if you have a blog or anything like that, but affiliate links are good.
Idea.
Like Expedia or whatever travel, whatever airline, everybody's got, and, you know, just make a video and put it on there and then attach your affiliate link to it.
No, you're probably, I mean, there's some ways to do it. See, like our whole thing is we just have companies that as long as we have a good internet, we can work.
Oh, so you'd be like digital nomads. Have you ever talked to those?
Yeah, basically that's exactly it.
Yeah, that's cool. That I just started an e-commerce business, and I'm just getting it up and running right now. And that's kind of my goal, is that because I need something to do, and it's very clear that I cannot maintain a life of just sitting around. I gotta fucking do something. So I'm doing that so that way I can travel and have something to do and have a purpose and
right.
Blah blah.
Oh man, girl.
Traveling is fun, though. I will admit that it is a lot of fun.
Yeah, I agree. It's just how can you do it for less? And that's why, that's why I'm like, I will go anywhere. If I could go to Europe for $150, if I have to be there a couple weeks, I'll figure that shit out.
Yeah, there's a few countries, and I just got caught up in this whole thing. I flew to Japan for a concert, and I was going the very next day just to fly. I flew to Japan to then fly to Hong Kong, and then I was going to go back to Japan and then Korea. In any event, I didn't have a place to stay in Japan when I got there. I figured I'll get there, I'll see the concert, I'll grab a hotel that's near, and unless it's like 2 a.m, then I'll just go to the airport and just go to Hong Kong straight from there. Well, my bag got lost. Guess who it was? United. And when I got to Japan, to Tokyo, they wanted to know where I was staying. And I said, well, I'm flying to Sapporo, and then I'm going to see a concert. I don't know where I'm staying yet. So there are certain countries that require you to have a round trip ticket if you're going there. And Japan's one of them. And I hadn't run into that yet. And it was a mess. I'm the worst traveler, but I'm getting better at it. But they were asking the same questions. Why are you traveling to all these different areas? Why don't you have a place to stay? Why are you staying in one day? That's why Mexico wouldn't let me leave.
Got it. Oh my God. Barcelona in October.
Oh,
Freaking $456.
Oh, that would be awesome.
I've always wanted to go.
Me too.
I think I'm gonna, you know what?
I'd like to sleep with some Spanish men. Sorry.
I want to go and relax and stuff. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna look into this because they had something called, I think it was Norwegian Air just started trips.
Yes.
Out of my airport, Denver, and they had like Paris, France. I think it was 160 each way, and then you had to buy luggage, and I was like, damn, I could do. And then Airbnb for that time was like a nice 1-bedroom apartment was $35 US a night.
Oh my gosh.
I could do this shit. And then if I did it with my, God, it could be so cheap to do Paris. So I'm just going to wait it out and just see stuff. And when it pops, like my daughter, I just got her passport.
Yeah.
Mine has another 5 year. No, not even, like only 4 years left on it. And
yeah.
And then my boyfriend, I'm like, dude, get your passport.
I was about to leave for Korea the first time, and I hadn't looked at my passport, and I had I had 6 months left, and I knew I was coming back before it was expired.
Yep.
I had to have it renewed before I left, and I had to pay like $325 to get it in 24 hours.
Yeah. Oh shit.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
Wow, I didn't realize that's the price for 24 hours. Luckily, you already had one, because sometimes people try and expedite that shit and have never had one.
Yeah.
That's just lunacy.
Yeah.
I told my kid that I don't know what's going on with the United States in the next few years, but you best have your passport.
Yeah,
and
that's for sure.
Her card, and I give her the book.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Because if she loses it, it's just easy, And I scan in the card and put it up on Google. So if she's ever like, I lost my passport while she's traveling, she can just go to the embassy and they can do it there.
It's perfect. I've always heard that you should have a copy with you as well.
Yep. Yeah, because you can get, people steal stuff, all kinds of shit happens. So you just want to make sure to.
Yeah, I never let that off my body. I have this little tiny, pouch, like a money pouch. They have money belts and stuff like that, but I always have it on me. I'm weird about that.
That's weird. No, I mean, I've only traveled to Europe and the Dominican Republic internationally, and obviously Cameroon, but and stuff when I was younger, I don't even count, because you don't remember that shit, so whatever.
Right.
Okay, people.
Ermine,
what?
Sorry, am I interrupting if I ask Ermine a question?
No, go ahead.
Ermine, have you seen the drama between Shani and Rev News?
Oh God, I've only heard about it.
Oh my God, I'll give you the link to this video. I've seen so much internet drama, but this is the funniest shit ever.
You drop it in the outside chat though. Drop it in the outside chat.
It really is good. I have to admit.
So they both took these videos down off their YouTube channels, but somebody with the YouTube channel that's called the Fundy Archive saved them. And so the best one is Shani watching this video of Rev News talking shit about her and stopping and commenting while she's watching it. It's so fucking hilarious. Rev claimed that the only reason he had phone sex with her is to make her feel good about herself and that she was sexually harassing him.
Yeah. I'm sorry. He was stupid to do that because that might be the only play that man ever gets.
Yeah, but he's gay, isn't he?
No.
No,
He wanted Nadia, didn't he?
I don't know what was going on there. I don't know.
But he saw her as a female. So regardless of how, what anybody else thinks, that's how he saw her. I believe. I mean, that's, what I
never heard from her anymore. She's still alive?
Shani, she's on live right now. She's doing a rant.
No, she's talking about Nadia. Sorry. She meant Nadia. Godless.
Yeah.
She's asking about Nadia.
Oh, Ermine is asking about Nadia?
Yeah.
Oh, I've only heard that Rev said she's in a homeless shelter, but she's going to get her surgery pro bono.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, that's like, I didn't even hear Rev say that directly, so who knows if that's accurate or not,
How come she's not doing videos anymore? I mean, just because you're in a homeless shelter doesn't mean you don't, she's always done them from all kinds of odd places when she's moved.
Well, when Tom R tried to set up all the welfare or Social Security appointments for her and stuff, and she wouldn't go to him, and she kept lying about him, saying that some bullshit. So people revolted and were like, her hangout died because everybody said, well, we're not going to, so many people said, we're not coming in your hangouts anymore since you're such a liar, Nadia.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Well,
you guys don't remember that?
I kind of removed myself from a lot of that. I mean, but I didn't know exactly what had happened. That's too bad. Well,
Yeah, there's this one off-air hangout that I was the one that recorded it, and then I gave it to Nevin, and she gave it to everybody. Nadia's sitting there with her mic muted, pretending to be on the phone with Social Security in front of us when she's fucking just lying about it. It's really funny.
It's funny. You're exactly the reason why I always tell everybody, new people, always assume that you are being recorded. No matter if you're in an off-air hangout or not, you better always assume that you're being recorded. Because they out there.
Yeah, I feel sorry for her, though, because I think the reason she was lying, she just didn't want to say it, is she just didn't have motivation to make the phone calls and do the appointments, which some people might find hard to believe because they don't understand it, but I can relate to that, so that's what I think.
Holy shit.
I actually feel sorry for her.
August 19th to August 22nd, I can go to Vancouver for $268 round trip.
Woo!
Oh, that's only 3 days. It's not enough days.
Yeah.
I don't want to go in the winter either.
Oh.
The time to come to Vancouver is right now. Anytime after the middle of August, not so good. Not that it's not good. It's good, but it's not like now.
Because they have September 6th to September 12th for $242. Or and see, that's like at least what, 6 nights?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But you think September's too late to go?
Well, it's not that it's too late. The thing about September is it's the last month of summer. And usually the last month of summer is kind of the introduction to the first months of fall. So you've got a kind of a weird transition happening. It's cool at night. It's cold, cool. It could rain. It might not. It might be windy. It's kind of iffy, but it's not disastrous. Now is the best time. The last week of July, the first week of August is the best and probably the most predictable period of summer that we have every year.
This one says United, and the thing that freaks me out about United is I don't know, you know, what are the rules?
What do you mean? What are the rules?
Like, do I get a bag? Do I not get a bag? Do I get a carry-on?
Yeah, I mean, are you talking about through Skyscanner?
Yeah.
Then all the same rules apply. All you have to do is just go onto the website. Those are the same. They're all the same prices. I mean, they're all the same rules that they normally would have, unless they specify something different. But it would be the same one. So you get, I think you get one bag domestically, or two, and two internationally, and then 200.
Well, United changed all that. They're assholes.
Well, I mean, have they changed it in the last 60 days?
Yeah.
30 days? Oh, okay.
Yeah, they really have. They started this class called Pure Economy or some bullshit.
Oh, yeah.
Get a seat.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you basically, wherever there's a seat available when you get to the airport, they give you a seat. You don't get a carry-on. You don't get any check-ins. It's like literally get your ass on the plane with your one private personal items, and then it's kind of expensive for the check bag or for the bags. And then international, you don't even get a. I'm like, can't you even get a checked-in bag on international? They're like, no.
Oh like, my God, that would. Do you know?
Right. So I'm like, you're not even comparing apples to apples, you know?
Wow, they didn't have that the last time, but the last trip I was just on, the one I just came back from, I refused to go on United. They just suck so bad. So bad. I took Air China home.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I believe it. Now, did she drop that link?
I put the link in the external. Are you talking about me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I put the link in the external. That shit is the funniest thing I've ever seen on the fucking internet.
Okay, I'm gonna watch it. I was gonna watch Game of Thrones, the last episode again, but I guess I'm spending an hour watching this shit instead.
I'll tell you.
You don't even have to watch the whole hour. Just like the first 20 minutes is her watching the Rev video. That's the best part.
You know, I don't normally go in for this stuff, but it is quite entertaining. I mean, there's a couple that are even, I think, before that, when she before she does that, there's one before that where she's really drunk. It's just I sat there in the side chat going, stop. Please stop. It was just so hard to watch, but I think back now it was pretty funny.
She's delusional, though. She thinks, like, Rev is going to be with her. He doesn't want to be with her.
That's a histrionic that she just, like, everything is... And what's funny is she'd vacillate back and forth from her husband, how much he hurt her, but yeah, then she was having an affair, you know, on the phone. It's like you don't see the correlation. And then her mother is egging her on. That pissed me off.
Oh my God, there's this other video that it's called Flirting with G-Man, and I can give you the timestamp. It's so long, and like I just happened to fucking click on the right part in the video. I wasn't like watching the whole video. I just clicked on this one part. And listen, with all within 90 seconds, she talks about how in that week she was arrested. She was in the psych ward. She said that she pushed her brother-in-law into a door, but the police shouldn't have arrested her because the door was the thing that punched them or something. And she said she attacked a tree with a fucking hatchet, but her husband told the cops that she wielded an axe when it was really just a little hatchet.
Yeah, she was talking yesterday about having to go to court and how afraid she was, and I thought to myself, well, okay. She goes, I'm always afraid when I have to go to court, and I'm like, bitch, how many times you been to court? You know, it's like, you think you know why.
Oh, and she shows her, like, she cut her wrist, and she shows her wrist, but there's no cut on it.
Yeah, a lot of times those are hesitation, but sometimes.
And her mom is sitting there next to her in the video, like, yeah, it wasn't an axe, it was a little hatchet.
her dad is so sweet too, and I just that broke my heart. But yeah, it is damn entertaining, man. You can't write content this good.
Yeah, you can't make this shit up.
No.
And it's funny how they keep bringing Christianity into it. Her and Rev.
That's what cracks Sid up so much.
That is the best part. That's the whole entertainment of it. Otherwise, it would be just another soap opera.
She was like, Rev, you blamed me for the phone sex, just like Adam blamed Eve for the apple.
Hey, what's your name? Sid, when's Hanukkah this year?
Oh shit, I have no idea. I'll have to look it up. I'll get back to you in a second.
Okay, thanks. I gotta use the restroom. I want to travel in the December with my boyfriend, but I gotta travel around Hanukkah then.
Yeah, I'm going then too. I'm back. Sorry, had to pee myself. Whew.
Did you guys hear me flushing?
Yeah, I was flushing at the same time.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah. I know.
Brother John said he could hear me flushing one day, and I was horrified. Oh, fuck it. Only because we were on air. I was like, oh my god.
Oh,
Where'd Godless go?
Oh, well, we weren't fighting, so she had to leave.
Oh.
Okay.
Right?
Hanukkah.
Right, Godless?
Tuesday, December the 12th in the evening.
Mm-hmm.
It begins and it ends on the evening of Wednesday, December the 20th.
Okay, good. It's before Christmas this year. Okay.
8 long days. Yeah. I should do Hanukkah this year. Really wanted to do a Seder, but I was busy.
That's good. That's funny.
I don't even know what a Seder is.
It's like it's like Easter, right? I mean, it's that same time, and they tell you talk about the foods coincide with the
No, for
the
Passover.
tradition.
You're talking about Passover.
That's the Seder is the.
Everybody has their little personal memory of seders and stuff from childhood. Mine there's a tradition that you set a table, you set a seat you set a setting.
Yeah.
For an invisible, non-existing prophet of some sort.
Yeah.
And then I think there's a certain kind of a glass of milk and something to eat. I don't know. You have that ready, and then at some point, my aunt, one of my father's sisters, would go to the door and open the door to let Eliyahu Hanavi, which is Eliyahu, the prophet, in. And she'd sit there, she'd stand there with the door open, and we'd all watch her for, I don't know, a minute, whatever. And she closed, and that was the end of it.
It's kugel and manischewitz. With a little grabalts. What do they call that? It's grabalts. It's like a fried chicken skin or something.
You see, our influence was nothing North American. Our influence was directly from Lithuania, from Eastern Europe.
So you probably had latkes or something.
Yeah. There was that latkes, and there was gefilte fish. There was
Everybody's got gefilte fish.
That was the staple thing.
Fucking hate that.
I used to love it with horseradish.
Oh, if you don't like that, you'll hate lutefisk.
Never heard of that.
Oh, it's from Sweden, and it's fish that's soaked in lye. It's like fish flavored Jello.
Yeah, well, they had something. Oh, I know what you're talking about. They had the same sort of thing. It was a gelatin with slices of eggs in it. It was a sort of a. It was called. Fuck. What the fuck was it called? Hold on. I gotta think of it.
Can I invite Gus?
Yeah, sure. Pizza. or something like that.
Pata. I think I know what you're talking about.
Oh, it's disgusting.
Schmaltz. You know what schmaltz is,
Yeah,
right?
chicken fat.
Ugh, chicken fat. Schmaltz is so good.
Are you kidding me? You know, it's a killer.
Yeah, whatever. Killer
It coats the
schmilla.
inside of your arteries very nicely.
Killer schmilla. It makes
really.
It makes the kugel go down.
Yeah, you don't live after past 60 if you can eat that shit.
Who wants to live? You die in a. See, I get you crazy. Live.
You've read the Bible too much. It's depressed you.
Yeah. You die in a gutter like a pig, and they walk over you, not even caring. Ugh. Could your kids call you? No.
You talking about the Warsaw Ghetto? Because that's kind of what happened.
Ah, that's funny. That's my grandmother. My step-grandmother. She was Polish, and but she was Catholic. But somebody who talk about somebody who hated Germans. Oh, she hated the Germans.
Oh yeah.
Well, she was Polish. She was from Poland.
Hold on a second.
You know,
the Poles hate the Germans, but the Poles were the biggest Jew haters and Jew traitors in the whole of the war.
Well, to be fair, none of us knew we were Jewish at the time, so I'm sure she would have forbidden my dad to marry her had she known.
Oh.
I don't know.
Well, I don't know.
I mean, I've only known for what, not even 2 years.
Well,
And I wish I mean, I found out when my mom died, and I would have liked to have known what she knew. I still don't even know if my grandfather knew. I mean, I can't imagine how he would know, but the funny thing is he used to talk about these really weird things when we talk about Christmas and the kids would complain about what they didn't get. He'd go, you know what, he had a really thick Spanish accent or Mexican accent. He'd say, you know, we got these little toys, they're like spinning little tops things.
Ah, dreidels.
But none of us knew that, right? This is an atheist family from generations, and nobody knew. And he'd talk about the little tree, some little tree that they'd have, or some little bush. And he goes, on our Friday night, in the dark. I don't know whether it was Friday or Saturday or what, but he talked about being in the dark, and none of us knew what the hell he was talking about. We just figured they were poor in Mexico.
What does it mean? Because I have no idea what it means either.
I think it's when they would turn the, you know, the what do you call it? I mean, you figure he would be over 100 right now. So when he was young, it was when what is that thing on the weekend? When you can't drive, you can't go anywhere. Sabbath, yeah. I think that's what he was talking about, was the Sabbath. Shabbat. I can't remember whether it was Friday or Saturday or whatever.
Friday night sunset to Saturday
that's right.
Evening sunset.
That's what he said. On Friday nights, they'd sit around in the dark.
But why? Oh,
I don't know.
Well, the thing about...
I don't know, but...
the thing... in what year was this?
Well, he was born in...
I mean...
He was born in 1910.
All right, so they didn't have electricity in those days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know when they would have come from wherever. I mean, I don't know how long. I don't know when. I didn't know what.
The law for electricity is like if you've got electricity and you got your lights on, if Sabbath begins, then you got to leave them on. You can't switch them off. And if you got them off, when Sabbath begins, you got to leave them off. You can't switch them on. But you can't have a timer.
I'd be in good shape because I always keep the lights on.
You can't have a timer, although in 1910, I'm not too sure if time is all that advanced.
That's interesting.
Well,
see,
You know the biggest con about the... Well, that's not the biggest con. There's many cons. But one of the big cons about the Jewish religion, like the Orthodox, ultra-Orthodox really, is you got this law saying that on the Sabbath, you're not allowed to carry anything. Right?
Oh yeah, I've heard that. Yeah.
So when you walked from your house to the synagogue, you cannot carry your book, your Bible, or your whatever you carry, your prayer book. Okay.
So where do you put it?
So what you do, and also everybody who is ultra orthodox, they have a special, they have the Sabbath, the Shabbat suit. Mm-hmm. Because
do you sleep in it?
Throughout the rest of the week, no. They throughout the rest of the week they wear a black suit with a black hat. Mm. But on a Sabbath, they wear a black suit and a black hat, but the suit has no pockets because you can't carry anything. So what they do to get around this is they cheat. They decided that if you have an eruv, in other words, if you have a little community gathered around that sort of lives around the vicinity of a synagogue, what you can do is you can run a string of some sort all the way around the community, and then if you're within this string, the circle, you don't have to keep that law of not being able to allow to carry anything, because now you're sort of at home. You can carry stuff at home, but you can't carry it in public or something like that, right? So, but with this string around it, you get around that law. So you go ahead and you can walk to synagogue carrying your prayer book.
That's cheating.
Hey, Sydney, I need a link for this hangout. I tried copying and pasting this in, and it's not working.
Well, then allow me to give you a link.
Thank you.
To this
That's
hangout.
cheating.
Why is it? It is cheating. Of course it's cheating. Stupid.
Well, it was a silly law to begin with. Right.
Well, there's a lot of stuff. I mean, but what's the point of having a law if you can get around the law with a workaround? It just...
Agreed. Ridiculous. Which is why we're atheists. There's this guy.
Are you talking about a join link or a watch link?
Join. She wanted to invite Gus.
Oh, sorry, I gave you the wrong link.
Oh, yeah.
La 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 la. Oh.
All right, there you go.
Thanks.
Benny's been particularly a nuisance lately.
You know what? Okay. Now that you mentioned Benny, I was listening into Benny's live hangout earlier before I started this one.
When I was in there?
Yes, I listened to when you were in there. In fact, I was going to message you. What did you get out of that hangout?
Well, I know who Benny is. That's for sure.
Benny.
Benny was in there, and Vlad was in there, and
yes.
Dan was in there, so we were doing that. Benny.
No,
Benny.
I missed that. It was towards the end of before you left.
Yeah.
But
I was in there all night.
I carried on listening afterwards, and then Heathen came in.
Yes, Heathen came in right as I left.
Right, and then they started calling, Benny with his phone calls. And they started calling. This might actually get his channel banned, but they started calling a certain hotel chain. I forget what it was.
Yeah, Luke and I used to do that a lot, and it's actually really fun. But yeah, they call places in Las Vegas, that hotels, the ones that they'll deliver you hookers, so they'll call escort services.
They were just calling the front desk. And Heathen was going, I'd like to make a reservation. Or, I'd like to make a reservation. Or whatever he wanted to do. And then he'd say, I'd like to make a reservation for XY date, and would you like to suck my cock?
Yeah, or he does the gay guy where then he starts screaming, honey.
And anyway, I find it, I felt sort of more on the side of the guy that he was trolling, the guy just working his front desk.
Yeah.
Or the woman who was just working the front desk. I thought I felt offended for them.
Some of these, I was listening all night because I won't participate in them anymore because I had to grow up a little bit. But I was listening from the outside, and there's a couple that are really, some of them are really savvy because obviously they deal with this with a lot of people. And there's this one woman that she's like, dude, I'm just going to keep you on speaker and I'm just going to sit here and do my work. And so then he'll just talk to her. But he's using all the pre-recorded voice stuff. And it sounds like a real conversation. And you're like, what the heck? But she's like, you're a little piece of shit. She's just screaming, just yelling at him. And it was actually kind of satisfying because I know what you're saying. I feel the same way. There's been a few that play along quite nicely. They're like used to them and they just go, yeah, hey, dude, thanks for calling. But I got to go back to work. Yeah, you call me later. You could suck my dick later. It's like, wow. I mean, they're really fast on their feet. But yeah, sometimes I feel real bad about that because they just, you know, they call Bohemian Gardens. You know what Bohemian Gardens is?
No.
It's where, it's in Northern California, and it's where all the, political people go. And they have, usually it's like a banquet place where like you could have all the heads of state there at any given time. And one time I called and I said, look, because they just had some big meeting there and Bush was there and all these people. And I said, yeah, I was working in the banquet staff, you know, on this day. I gave him the date so that he knew what it was. I said, and, you know, I was in the kitchen and somebody came in and don't tell anybody this because I really want to come back next season. But yes, he asked me to go out into the gardens with him. And I kind of left my panties out there. And I was wondering if somebody could go out there and look. And because I really needed to not, you know, because they were given to me. It says on there or it says love, GW. And I really don't want that to get out. He's like, what? So I'm thinking that I was, and he was talking to me the whole time. He's like, and he asked me questions and you know, I got it down, but I never forgot that one. It was pretty funny.
That's the best prank I've heard.
It was a good one. And it was dumb luck. Dumb luck. And I was like, wow.
Where's Gus?
Is he not coming in?
I don't know. An expectation has been set up for me, and I've been disappointed.
Somebody just asked me about him last night. I said, I don't know. I have not seen him. Yeah, Benny's
I guess I should. I've kind of emphasized a lot that this is females only debates.
Yeah, I know, but let Gus in.
Of course. No,
No.
I should maybe explain maybe what I mean.
Oh.
By females only debates.
What it means is you just want to see women fight because it gets you sexually aroused.
Well, that's what it means to you. But what it means to me, and yes, partly what you say is right, but I am a female, so I'm allowed in.
Okay. Are you going to call for a safe space next?
You have no right. You have no right to question my female identity. Apparently.
Oh, that's not no. We don't play that game.
Apparently, in this 21st century, that is some kind of a thought crime.
You know, I refuse to do this anymore because
especially in my country.
I consider all people equal, and I'm not going to bend over backwards for people to make, because that means that they are less. If we have to make exceptions for them, and they're not. Nobody is less. We're all human, and we just need to treat people with some damn respect.
No, we're all Canadians.
Well, whatever. We wish we were all Canadians.
I'm going to make it happen.
Okay.
We are all Canadians.
Somebody had said, what did I hear them say? They said, if Thomas Jefferson could come back today, he'd be disappointed that we hadn't taken over Canada by now. I thought that was really interesting. Don't know if it's true, but apparently Jefferson.
Who's that?
Thomas Jefferson.
Thomas Jefferson. He wrote a book, didn't he? Wasn't he an author, American author? He wrote a book called on something or other.
He was one of our presidents, one of the biggest slave traders. He had all kinds of slaves. To this day, the Jefferson family will not let family members, because they are family members, be buried in the family plot. The ones that were African or were slaves. Bullshit.
You know what? I've kind of had a reassessment of the United States.
We suck? You finally get there?
Well, yeah. That's never been an issue with me. I've always believed that. But
okay.
What I'm saying is I'm starting to understand why Americans, a lot of them claim that the United States is a Christian country, because
Oh, yeah.
it is a Christian country. And
It is.
the way I say, the reason I say that as a maybe a Canadian or somebody who's heard somebody else say it, is because in 1776, when they brought in that constitution thing,
Mm-hmm.
they didn't. Slavery wasn't. Slavery was ignored.
Well, yeah.
Right. So there's no. So and the main reason that I think that it was ignored, is because the Bible didn't have a law against slavery.
Right.
And if the Bible had a law against slavery, then the Constitution itself would have had a law against slavery.
Right.
So, really, it is a Christian document.
Well, and
Certainly Christian influenced.
Yeah, and the other silly thing is when you fight a war, right? When the North and the South fight,
Yeah.
and half the country does not want slavery abolished, but yet we win, that's a bad thing, because you know there's going to be half the country that's going to be dicks, right? And it's just like, and nobody ever bothers to make a formal apology to the community. Nobody bothers to, you know, it should have happened at the time. I mean, obviously, you know, looking at it in hindsight, but still, I mean, when people say, well, what went wrong? Well, from the very beginning, it was, I mean, the whole thing was a travesty to begin with, but then they handled it completely wrong. And yet nobody's bothered to just, you know, take a stand, you know, say you're sorry. I mean,
it's the elephant in the room for some reason.
Mm.
I for the life of me, it's one of those things that you don't talk about. It's taboo. You know, it's like mentioning Hillary and Benghazi. Remember back in the campaign season? Boy, that would get people to just blow up. Remember?
Yeah, because you know what the problem that happens is that if you acknowledge it, right, then you have to acknowledge who you are. Right? You have to acknowledge that. I mean, some of the great philosophers said that, you know, if there's a problem within a society, it is the problem of every man or human, right? If there's a problem, it's all of our problems. What we allow will continue. We allow it, and those who don't, there's not enough to make a difference. And
okay, explain to me, what does that mean? We allow it.
What it means is the apathy. Right? When people say my vote doesn't count and they don't vote, they're allowing somebody else to vote for them. Because it's not that their vote doesn't count. It surely doesn't count if you don't go cast it, right? But if you are apathetic, if I sat in a room with a bunch of racists, right? And I sat there all day long and never said anything. I never stood up and said, you know, you guys are fucked up. This is wrong, blah, 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 blah. I'm part of the problem, right? By not standing up for another human's rights, we are then part of the problem.
Not if you're doing clinical research.
Yeah, whatever. See, it's just too damn easy. Too damn easy.
You guys think I'll get my TSA pre-check?
Yeah.
I hope so.
What does that mean?
You go through a background search and or a background investigation, and they just they vet you, you know.
Yeah, they take the hell out of your fingerprints. I guess they send your info to FBI.
Yeah, you can have a rectal exam too.
Pretty much. That's what I mean. It was quick, at least.
He's not going to buy you dinner though, but he is cute.
A lot of lube.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, and then you don't have to wait in those long lines at the airport to get checked in. Go through it's better than first class. You just go through the zip.
Yep.
And you don't have to take off your shoes. You don't have to take out a laptop. You have to take out liquids. Nothing. You just go through. I
got to do that because I struggle to go through that. It's so hard.
Does it cost extra?
Yeah, it's $85 for 5 years.
That's easy.
So I don't understand. How do they check your shoes if you don't have to take your shoes?
You just go through a regular metal screener.
Yeah.
Or whatever screener they have. You just walk through that. But you don't take shit off. I mean, they just like basically trust you. You're not going to fuck up.
China is tight, man.
I don't get it. I don't get it. Why? Okay, my name is Ahmad the terrorist. I'm calling myself. Rodney Marsh, and I work in an Indian call center in Delhi, but I'm traveling on holiday.
Oh, first, this one's only for domestic travel. It's not for international. International is even more ridiculous.
That's fine. I've got a study year-long visa, whatever. I mean, I'm in the United States, and I have bad intentions.
U.S. citizens and permanent residents.
Oh.
Here at 5 years.
There's no shortage.
Yeah, but it's a pre-qualifying.
Yeah, like if they check your Facebook, they check blah blah blah. Like
I promise not to take a bomb on the plane. Is that what you got to say?
No.
Well, no, you better not even mention that 4-letter word. You're not gonna get shit.
The fact that you just said it right now, you'll never get on a plane.
You'll never get on.
Doesn't matter how white you are, you ain't getting on.
I'm just gonna be stuck in this apartment for the rest of my life and go nowhere.
Yeah, because knowing you, like the Hebrew in you. No, just kidding.
Sorry.
You want some Hebrew in you?
Ooh. Hello.
Hello.
She already gets it.
No, his kids are doing.
Oh, because her mother is?
Oh. Now we're gonna go to kids, are we?
Yeah.
I get it.
Oh my gosh, they have Bogota, Colombia for $303.
Bogota, Colombia. Oh.
Yeah, do you have a nice Kevlar bodysuit?
Yes. Thank you for that correction.
Sorry.
But I could go for 6 nights for $303. Dude, I love this thing. This is so how I'd like to travel. Where I'm going there. You just like made my day.
Thank you. I'm telling you, that saves you so much money. Do you know how much cocaine you can buy while you're down there?
Right.
Really?
straight from the plantation too.
It really changes things. Let me tell you.
I was looking at hotel prices here in Vancouver. It was like $600-700 a night.
Oh, come on. Yeah, Seoul is going to be almost. I don't know. I'm never going to be able to go there in 2018 until the Olympics are over.
Literally now. What's going on? I mean,
the Olympics are going to.
I understand. I'm popular on the internet and stuff, but boy, you just want to hang out in a hotel near me is $600 a night.
Vancouver, I think, has a lot of conventions. I think you guys have a lot of conventions, and
we have a couple of convention centers which are very well used.
Yeah.
We have a lot of government and big, huge technology conferences and stuff.
Yeah.
There's always something going on in Vancouver.
That's it.
Lots of money. There's lots of money flowing through Vancouver. Lots of money flowing through Vancouver. And I get none of it.
Hookers and blow?
No, I think that's passé now. But I might be wrong.
Not in the UK, but yeah, I think it is. They still have a problem with it.
I believe opioids is the problem du jour.
It's amazing. It is amazing.
It's become absolutely a non-social issue.
Yeah.
It's only about health and about death.
Do you know, for a while there, probably 10 years ago, when it was really hot, some ERs were putting out, I kid you not, bowls of pills of opiates because people were coming in, they were just med seeking, and they'd come in and they'd say, "Here, take some," and go, because the ERs were so overflowing.
All right, guys, I'm gonna peace out. I'm gonna go watch. What is it?
Shanny.
Oh, that crap. I might be back if you're still hanging.
I was gonna say, have a glass of wine with that. It's real good.
Girl, you know I already got one right by the bed.
Good.
10 in the morning. I was like, it's 10, so I'll only do half a glass of white.
You are set.
All right, talk to you later. Bye.
That's cool. That's funny. La 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 la.
So you down for hanging out more and maybe getting more people in here?
I'm here. I'm here for now. Yeah, whatever you
Well,
want.
hey, throw some names out. I saw.
Baby, I'm persona non grata.
I
you know,
saw Holy Speckle in the.
Yeah, I don't give a shit.
Damn.
If she wants to come in, I don't give a fuck.
She can. She's just listening. So you tell her what tell her what's on.
She can't come in. Oh.
You tell her what's on your mind. Because she's listening to you. She's listening to you.
I have nothing to say. She wants to come in. That's on her dime. But I'm not.
What is that? Do you know who she is?
Holy Spackle?
Yes.
No. I was thinking of somebody else.
The Holy Speckle, Deirdre.
Huh. Sounds familiar.
Tell me what you know about her.
No, I think I don't.
Because I don't know. I know her from my point of view. I don't know her from your point of view.
Let me see. It seems to me I remember. Huh. No, I couldn't remember. Because the person I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of, she was really nice to me. She was really sweet. We had some good conversations. Yeah, she was very nice. Met her when I first got here.
She was nice to me when I first met her as well.
Yeah, she
was.
But
as soon as I said something anti-Jesus, she changed. She became like a she reminded me of the whole book of Revelation.
Did she now?
Yes, she did.
Huh.
She became monstrous.
Wow.
So she what would you say if Shani came in here right now?
Well, I'm not gonna give Shani a bad time at all. I mean, there's nothing that I've said that
Shani does need a platform though.
You know me. If I say something, I've either said it already, like I've said these things to her already. Mm-hmm. So it's not that it's that different. And I
think Shani.
I feel bad for her because I know she's believing these things and she's feeling these things. But it isn't entertaining. I'm not going to lie. And she knows it. I mean, there's a part of this that she knows that this is entertaining and that she has an audience. You know, I mean,
let me ask you, because it's kind of a two-parter, really. She's entertaining for two things. Number one, she's entertaining to me because she's such a nutcase about Jesus. This to me is fantasy gone wrong, right? It's like fantasy. The fantasy of Jesus Christ is sort of eating her from the inside. It's like a Christian brain cancer.
Okay.
Okay, in a sort of a figurative way. So that I find is I find that kind of absorbing because how it's not something that's physiological.
How do you how do you reconcile it?
Yeah, it's not physiological, so it's like not terminal. So it's just imagining of how is it going to run its course because nobody knows.
Right.
That's the one thing, and then the other thing is the public dirty laundry. Which is totally contrary to the whole Jesus this and Jesus that. So she's a paradox, a living, breathing.
She's an enigma wrapped in a conundrum.
No, she's a living, breathing, very, very much eating paradox.
Okay.
I think she eats a lot of chips.
Oh, I don't know. I've not seen her do that, but I suppose.
And drinks a lot of alcohol. Chips and alcohol.
Yeah. I think she's trying to. If I heard her correctly, I think she's trying to stay away from that. I think she's been.
Well, the thing is, the thing about Christianity is you got to abstain from alcohol.
I think it depends on.
I mean, in moderation.
Who you're talking to. Well, yeah. I mean, really, if you want to know the truth, you're going to have the Holy Spackle come in because she's a moderate.
What I'm trying to say is Rev News or Jason or Revelation News. He's an alcoholic who has to be who has to have had a few drinks in order to go on camera.
But he's human, right? I mean, just because you're Christian
So-
doesn't mean you're not human.
So every time you see him on camera, he is pretty much drunk, inebriated. Okay?
Well, I've seen him sober.
All right. Well, I'm just
Okay.
saying. I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
yeah,
This is
I
according
hear
to him. According to him,
Mhm.
he is always inebriated because that's the only way he can get the courage to go on camera.
Well,
And of course, Shani loves to have a little bit of a tipple as well.
yeah.
As we witnessed with her video when she was with her mother,
Right.
having a good old, throwing back the wine, the beer.
But
this,
is
that,
this
whatever.
problem exclusive to the Christian community, or do we see this within the other denominations or those that lack a denomination?
It's exclusive to the Christian community.
You sure about that?
Yes, I am. I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Because within the Muslim community, and we're talking about Abrahamic, I assume.
Sure.
Within the Muslim community, alcohol is actually banned. It's not.
Yes, but
it's not-
pedophilia is in, though.
Yeah, but fine, but they don't. If pedophilia is in, and then alcohol and the pedophilia will go together, but it's banned.
Yeah.
So it's not part of the culture. It's part of the maybe counterculture, underculture. Maybe it's more part of the culture than anything else Islamic. However, it's hidden. The Jewish approach, result of the alcohol is it is part of the culture, and it's part of the Friday night meal. It's part of it's wine.
A little little Manischewitz.
Wine is a part of the prayer cycle and meal, and it's just not a thing that is looked upon as evil or anything. So when you grow up, it's just part of it. It's part of you. You're used to it. It's like Italians, right?
Agreed.
It's always there. It's not a big deal. So, where it's a big deal, it's a problem.
Yeah.
Let me say Irish.
Yep.
And stop there, really.
But what's the common thread there? It seems like when you ban things like that,
the guilt.
It's the fighting.
Also, it seems to be that the Irish.
Well, I mean, it doesn't matter.
That seems to be the center point of where all this Catholic abuse, child abuse, began.
I don't know that we can. I don't.
Okay, maybe it's not Irish, but I tell you what I learned is that up until a certain date, and it was up until 19 or 18 something or other, it was from the age of 14 that boys were supposed to go to confession, and from the age of 14 they were pretty much introduced to confession, and they were alone with the priests, etc., etc. But some pope came along and changed it. He said, okay, we're going to change it from 14 to 7. And from the age of 7, the confession and the being alone with the priests and all this kind of stuff began. So you can sort of trace it back to that, I think. Now, I don't remember the year, but it was 1800 and whatever. I forget. Maybe early 1900. I really don't remember. I got to look it up. It's just something I read and stuck in my mind.
Yeah, it was a great marketing scheme, right? I mean, you've got Islam, you've got Judaism, and then you've got this other sect, right? And they're thinking, how are we going to set ourselves apart? Oh, I know. let's tell our holy people, or let's tell our people that, our prophet is the Son of God, right? And so from there, then they make their holy people, their highest, give up their greatest carnal urges, and that's sex and money. These two things that motivate us in everything, and it's
so abusive.
Yes, it's abusive, but for simple people who were less emotionally and linguistically sophisticated, right? They didn't know these things, and so you tell them that they're not going to have sex. You mean never have sex? I mean, a simple man is, or human back then is, more swayed by their urges.
Something, and besides the never have sex part of it, they're also stamping out the personal interrelationship with another human being. Really, what they're saying is, be a reclusive, be celibate, and marry yourself to God, and do whatever you got to do to be faithful or whatever.
Well, yeah, because how else are you going to get people to continue to give you their tithe?
Right,
or
how dangerous is that?
Well, they didn't know. They didn't know back then.
We know now.
Yeah, we know now.
And why do they still follow it? But now, here's a question. Again, another thing that I'm not an expert on, but I have a question on the Reformation, and I understand why the Reformation happened. And here is my understanding in a nutshell.
Okay.
The Catholic Church pretty much dominated and had absolute control of people's thinking for 1,000 years.
Yeah.
And they were at the point where they pretty much controlled everything. And because it was a big hoax and they were all charlatans, and it was just a big huge business, money grabbing. They, in order to survive, in order to have the money, in order to fleece the people, they would sell what's called indulgences, right? So somebody would come in and say, "Oh, I don't know, cheated on my wife, and my child is sick, and my cows aren't giving milk, and whatever." They'd sort of and they'd sort of be told by the priest, "Well, I'll tell you what, you've cheated on your wife. All right, you can give us 10,000 ducats."
No.
Yeah.
You mean like buying carbon footprint type?
You can be cheat. You can buy absolution from that particular sin.
What a deal.
Yeah. So that was what the Catholics were doing to their flock, as it were, on a serious. But that's what caused the Reformation.
Wow.
Because they weren't sticking to the book. They were just doing this indulgence thing, so people could do what they want and buy themselves out of it. And then this guy Luther comes along and says, "Fuck this. That's not what it says in the book," and the Reformation happens. Well, what I don't understand is how, because of the reason for the Reformation in the first place was to sort of counter this Catholic corruption. How did Catholicism actually survive till today, to the point where Catholicism has its own country, the Vatican, and the Reformation has nothing other than 3,500 or 40,000 or whatever denominations?
Yeah. Well, during that time, like this is the whole time when Nietzsche says, or back in the 1800s, when Nietzsche says that God is dead, it's because I think it was Constantine and the bishops, they're the ones that were responsible for the New Testament. And I think I told you the story about how they had to explain it in such a way that it made the European mind kind of wrap its mind around the natural world. It had to start thinking in concepts, and that they hadn't had to think in before. And that's when they started. That's why science is. This is what they say, that this is why science took off, because of course Now they get it. So there's a bunch of people that are jumping ship, but there's always going to be those people that are led by the guilt, right? And we see it in Europe today that, you know, like what was this? Fabio was saying, you know, you've got the butcher, the baker, and you've got the post office and the church, and they're all pretty much equal. You know, nobody's freaking out about religion. It's just part of the world. And, you know, after it's been around for a while, you figure it's got to be deep. And then there's all the secrets. So there's people that are just working hard to keep it going. I mean, who knows why people continue to believe such a lie? I mean, I find it hard to believe. I mean, I see what you're saying, but I find it even harder to believe that during this time that we're not, that Christians, not me, but Christians are not saying, hey, God, why are you having us fight your battles? Why are we doing all your dirty work? We're the ones down here having to work. We're the ones down here having to try and feed ourselves. And we're the ones, you know, having all the bullshit. You're a God. Why aren't you handling this? Right? And I don't understand how they don't see that. Why are they not questioning that?
Why are they just saying, hold on a minute. Hold on a second, everybody.
Yeah.
If God didn't exist today, how would the universe be any different? How would I have woken up this morning and seen that the world was any different at all? That history and the cosmos would have been any different?
Right. And that's, you know, I mean, this whole thing about sin, you know, like somehow I won't believe because then I can sin. But I'm like, I don't do any of that stuff. I mean, how would my life?
Thing as sin. I
don't get it either. It's just silly, as if we don't have any kind of control. It's just, they're just clueless. But I think even, what was I just had something in my mind and now I forgot it.
Well, we're talking about sin.
Right.
I can't even accept the word because it's so undefined.
I agree. When they say sin, I go, what is that? What is sin? You know?
I talk ethics. Let's talk ethics.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk common sense.
And social ethics been my thing lately.
Absolutely. Let's talk of that. But
Love it.
But don't bring thinking into sin, and don't bring these weird abstract guilt. I don't know, guilt.
Yeah. I know what you're saying.
Identifying
I mean,
with stuff, just it's ridiculous.
The whole objective subjective morality thing, I think, is the biggest bunch of bullshit. The polarity that theists continue to advocate for, right? You're either with me or you're against me. Now, I've had a change of heart about some of the Sermon on the Mount, as it relates to the older oral tradition, and I'm not even through it all the way, so I don't know that I can articulate it just too much yet. But the way it's taught is that kind of you're with me or you're against me. And that does not allow for somebody's journey into exploration. You can't think about something, you can't learn about it. You know, there's no trial and error. It's very limiting, you know, and that's manipulation. It's like so many of the things that this God does or asks of you, or other people within your religion ask of you, are really, they kind of put you between a rock and a hard spot. So what are you going to decide? You know, and everything is so polarizing.
Well, let's strip away some layers.
Mm-hmm.
How do you go from this, whatever they say, immaterial thing with consciousness creating the universe? Okay.
Well,
let's say, let's accept that. We don't know. Let's well, this is the
because you know we've talked about it so much.
Hear me out.
Okay.
It's a hypothesis.
Mm-hmm.
So we got this unconscious, immaterial entity creating our cosmos and creating the universe.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's say we don't know why this universe was created, so we all accept that it's this unconscious or this conscious, immaterial, etc., creating this universe. Right, we'll accept that. Now, how do we go from that to any attributes whatsoever, never mind that they're negative or positive or malevolent or benevolent or whatever? How can we possibly infer any attributes to this thing that was the cause of this? If there was a thing, I don't believe there was a thing, but let's say there was a thing that was the cause of the beginning of this universe. Can anyone come in here and answer that question for me?
I don't know how they could. I mean, because that means you have to start doing all of that presupposing, and you have to give. Okay, I'll give you this. Let's suppose that, and I think that's where it goes down the wrong path immediately, because we are just continuing to perpetuate the I cannot trust my feelings, that I can't trust my gut, that nope, that's not right. We've not seen that throughout history. We don't see that within ourselves as humans. Why we would expect that a God would be better than us, and he often does less than we do. Right? Yes, it's like indeed. It's almost like being in an abusive relationship. If somebody hits you and then says, "But I love you, but I did it for your own good." I mean, that's the stuff they counsel you out of when you're in an abusive relationship. But yet, it's
that's
okay.
When you get the fuck out of there and you go to the homeless shelter.
Right. It goes against everything we know, but then it sets us up for accepting abuse. It sets us up for being manipulated through the ages. It's rough. I mean, take a look at small Bible Belt towns, right? What's a kid going to do? You can't break away. It's not like you can go, hang out down the road because all the atheists are down there, all the free thinkers. I mean, everybody. This is how this gets perpetuated. Everybody's there. You're encompassed by it. And if it's all you know from the time you're young, like I said, if you tell a child that clowns are gods, someday they're going to have a really hard time in the drive-thru at Jack in the Box. It's going to confuse them for whatever reason. And that's, all these stories of out of religion. And I still have a hard time understanding those things since I didn't come from that. I didn't realize what I was saying when I first got here. I didn't understand the impact of saying I'm a third generation atheist and, this type of thing. I didn't even have a concept of what other people went through. And I see it now. I definitely see it now. There's a lot that goes along with it. And I think about if I had thought there was a God watching while my mother dragged me down the hall at 6 years old by my hair, I would be a completely different person if I would be alive at all. But the concept, I mean, luckily 6-year-olds usually don't have a concept of that whole thing. But it certainly does fuck a lot of people up.
Well, by the time you're 7, usually you have your parents' closed-minded views drummed into your own head.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, it's just it's amazing. You would think that see, I personally think that if you don't tell the children about it and you just act as an example and you live a good life, that your children will want to emulate you. But if we don't realize now that during the teenage years is automatic rebellion because it's genetically in us for whatever reason, right? Doesn't matter. It just happens. We do know it happens regardless of why it happens. And that happens so they can move on and transition into adulthood and make that separation. Otherwise, everybody would live in their parents' basement until age of however old. So to put that kind of stuff on a kid and get them to do those things, you're almost guaranteeing that they're either not going to go along with it, or they're going to go through it begrudgingly and have all kinds of issues depending on their personality. You would think that if you just lived a good life and it really was a benefit and all was well, that they would just, stick with you and you wouldn't have to tell them about it. Right. There's so many lessons that we learn from our parents, and we love to take the bad habits, right? The bad habits that our mothers gave us or our fathers gave us. And hell, we don't ever, I mean, was there something that your mother ever fed you when you were young that you absolutely hated, but she made you eat?
No.
Like, I hated Brussels sprouts, right? Hated them. I would eat anything, but I hated Brussels sprouts. I'd eat spinach. She fed me spinach all the time because I loved it.
Yeah.
Oh, after I moved out of the house, I never ate Brussels sprouts again. Yet, I carried all the damage and bad memories. It's like we're not conditioned to process anything. We're not taught to process anything. We're not taught to socialize or talk about social interactions. You know, they say now that parents spend maybe 20 minutes of one-on-one time with their children a day. 20 minutes.
That's horrible.
Yeah, there's a lot we're missing out on, you know, because we've taken the village down to, you know, a family, and, you know, that included the grandpa, maybe aunts and uncles in a large family, and then down to just the grandma and grandpa, maybe, or one, and then down to just the parents, right? And now it is so fashionable to be a single parent. It is so much bullshit. And it's not to slight any single parent, because you're the one there. I mean, if you didn't do it, who else would? But yet
did you say it's fashionable to be a single parent now?
Oh, it's no problem. I mean, we just say, oh, I'll just be a single parent. I mean, there are women out there that are single that will go to fertility clinics, and they'll, you know, get an artificial insemination and be a single parent. And I think it's terribly unfair to not only the child, but also the parent. Right? That's their life as well. And if you're not ready to be a parent, or if you're overwhelmed by being a parent, of course, if you go to the clinic, then you're taking that on. But if you get overwhelmed, if it ends up being more than you expected, I mean, what if you don't have any family? I mean, it's overwhelming, and everybody needs a rest, right? Nobody's perfect. And this whole thing about working and taking care of the kids and taking care of the house. I was listening to a woman on TV the other day that she worked for Gucci or some big house. You know, she was one of these big executives. She talked about leaving her children at 5 a.m. to hop on a plane. And the kids would be crying, "Mom, please don't go again. Please don't go again." And yet her career was so important that I thought, there's no way I could convince somebody. It's just not even a thought anymore that a child's life and the way a child wants their mom at home, that trumps everything. I've only seen a few mental health professionals, a couple professors that I've been listening to say, you better dedicate your whole life to that child. Do not have a child until you are ready to dedicate your life to them, until they're grown and gone.
Same with a pet.
Same with a pet.
At least that's what I've learned.
Yeah. But, you know, it's not so much divorce and the damaging part. It's how they're divorcing. It's the court. It's the trashing the other parent. It's the, you know, it's really horrible. And everybody wants to know why the millennials are a mess. And they blame the millennials for being a mess. They didn't raise themselves, and you don't see any conversations about, let's talk to the parents. Let's find out what wrong.
Why are the millennials more of a mess than our generation?
So I was born in 1964, right? And so then I had my first child in 1985. And then I had my last child at 29. So I'm raised by these Gloria Steinem Nazis, right? And not only was she a Gloria Steinem Nazi, because I have these 2 pictures here that I've inherited of the devil herself, and I even have a Ms. Necklace that's draped over one of them. So, you know, this is the beginning. So in the very beginning, these are not women that just want, you know, their equality to vote and to have child rights, to own land like the original suffragettes wanted. These are women that are real ball busters, right? They do not like men. They're not even, you know, Camille Paglia is on the outside. Camille Paglia in '64 when she's in college, or Paglia, I always say her name wrong.
Who's that?
She is an author and a social critic, and she was part of the original second wave feminism. And she is she's hard to listen to because she's very she talks really fast, and she is her mind is crazy. But
that reminds me of Christian Hillbilly.
no, she's not a theist at all.
He talks really fast, and his mind is crazy.
Yeah, she is the one that told us about the original thing that they wanted. They were in college. The men had the freedom to go out of their dorms whenever they wanted, but the girls didn't have that freedom. The colleges still retained that local apprentice, I think it's called, and it's the college had the right to kind of parent the children or the young adults, and the girls said, no, we want to go out, and they said, no, you can't. It's dangerous out there. You can be attacked or raped. It's not safe for you. And these women said, look, we want to risk that. We want to risk rape because men get beat up, men get attacked. We want equality, so that's what we're asking for. That's an honorable thing because you don't see feminism. That's like the exact opposite.
Tell me something about feminism. You said second.
This was the second wave.
Second
wave.
First wave, second wave. Okay.
Right.
The definition of feminism in the first wave and the definition of feminism in the second wave, are they identical, or was there a change? Or what is what is the definition of feminism in the first wave? Let's start there.
So the first wave, these are the suffragettes, right? And they like men, right? And they admire men, women like Amelia Earhart. These women, Katharine Hepburn was, her mother was one of the original founders, I think, or she was in the original suffragettes, and she would go out and like march with the, hold the sign and the balloons and stuff. So these were women that wanted to be educated. They wanted all these things because prior to this time, if a man and a woman got divorced, if there was a divorce, the men took the children. No questions asked. They were given to the husband. And of course, the women couldn't vote, and they also couldn't own land. And these were the three things that they wanted. I'm sure there were some other things, but these were the three major things. John Stuart Mills, who is around 18, when was he? Like 1840 he was like middle-aged. He talked about feminism at that time. He had a woman that was his lover. She worked at a magazine with him, but when they talked about feminism at that time, he was in the UK, they didn't talk about whether men and women were equal. They felt that was ridiculous. It was a ridiculous question because, of course, men and women are not equal because one's a man and one's a woman. But that didn't mean that women were not, they didn't need these things. And he was a big advocate of women's rights and to get the vote and to have their children to own land. So, but even back then, they thought it was ridiculous to consider a man and a woman equal. Right?
I don't understand why considering whether a man and a woman are equal is in any way relevant when in every culture that has ever existed, including this one, the one that I live in, a man and a man are not equal.
Right. Well, so, it comes down to equal opportunity instead of equal, original or origin. Because everybody's not born equal, and we all know that people aren't equal, but we should all have equal opportunity, and that's good.
Well, men and men. There's equal opportunity problems between men and men. I mean, let's face it. There's some people, males who, and let's assume a male-dominated world. Okay, let's assume the women aren't even in it, but within that male-dominated world, there's a class structure, and there's a socioeconomic structure, and there are barriers, and this is all just men, right?
Right.
So why all of a sudden is it more important to talk about the equality issues between men and women?
I think that you might be confusing. Like we could have 10 men, right? And 3 of them are very athletic, 2 of them are really smart, and the other 5 fall in somewhere in the middle of all of them, right? So of course they are going to have different barriers, like you're saying, but they all ought to have access to college equally. They all ought to have access. It's about access and opportunity, not ability, and that's the difference. You know what I mean?
Okay, well, that's fair enough, and I'll grant you that the college thing. But you know, after college,
well, voting.
After college is really when the real world begins.
Right. So college, voting, business. You know, who you are. I mean, as people, like we all know that maybe somebody is handicapped and they don't have use of their physical body, but everybody ought to have access to employment that they're qualified for. Or, you know, I mean, of course you're not going to make him a runner, you know, like a package runner, because he's probably not going to do as good of a job. And who knows if that's what he'd want. And that's an extreme version. But I think that the difference is just, while you may not be equal people physically, and you may not come from the same culture, when you go out into the world, everything will be equal for all of you. Nobody's not allowed in a store. Nobody's, you know, there aren't people that can only go here and only can go there. Now, if you can't get there on your own, that's your thing. But certainly if you can get here, you're welcome. See what I'm saying? That's equal opportunity. You want to go to college? You earn your way in. It's there for you if you want it.
What if you don't want it?
Then that's fine.
Then okay, if you don't take the opportunity to go to college or to learn a trade or to
right.
get a skill, do you then fall to a different or to a lower category in some way?
Well, of course. Well, people are going to look at you that way. This whole thing about don't judge me is a lot of bullshit, because that part of our brain is for judging is a real primal part. And that's the part that says, don't walk past that thing. It's a lion. It's going to eat you. Don't walk over there because that's a cliff and you'll fall and die. So we have to have judgment, right? And we also have to know when we're walking up to somebody who looks like they mean, you know, to harm us. I mean, we have this judgment. And it's there, but of course, religion will tell you not to judge. That's God's thing, because they know damn well that modern religion, because I think you see that. I think that comes in the New Testament, because if we tell you what evil looks like, or you know, then you may see it in us, and if you see that in us, you're not going to be compliant. And I'm sure. Originally, it started off as a way to kind of wrangle people, right? People that weren't smart enough to wrangle themselves. But eventually, with anything, if the malevolent get a hold of it, it's like the bomb, right? Now with the new CRISPR-Cas9 genetic editing, the woman who invented it is really frightened that it's going to be used for evil and not good.
Well, who makes that choice? Who makes that ultimate choice?
It's kind of out of our hands already. I mean, they just did some editing out of these embryos that they were successful. I mean, they eradicated a disease from a genetic disease, which is good. But the first problem that we're going to see is who gets it, right? And we know that money talks, right? So the problem they're worried about is that the rich will have children that are disease-free, but the poor will not. And it's going to create a class system. That's the first thing that we can see. People wanting to buy super children, right? Because you give them better muscles, you give them more, whatever they can give them.
Everything is a hoax.
Yeah.
Everything is a hoax.
Probably.
And I'll tell you why I say that. I've understood myself to be a political person all my life, and I've always observed, noticed things politically.
Mm-hmm.
And especially in North America, where democracy is supposed to reign, and so everything kind of makes a little bit more sense. I've noticed, and every 4 years in Canada and every 4 years in the States, there's election campaigns and whatnot, and this, that, and the other. And the same bloody subjects come up every single campaign.
Mm-hmm.
And the one that I want to focus on today is education.
Mm-hmm.
We want to put more money into education and make sure that the next generation of young Americans and young Canadians have access to the education that they need in order for our economy to be to be able to sustain itself through the coming technology boom. Blah 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 blah. And what do we have? What do we have today? How many educated people do we have of the number of people that should be educated?
Well, you know what's funny about that is it's lower in our country, but yet we have people coming to our country from all over the world because apparently some of our education is top notch. And I haven't been able to figure that out. Something doesn't seem right with that.
I don't see it either. I see Christian hillbilly kind of education.
Well, and here's what I think. So you've got people you do have the people that will break out of that category, right? Just the normal people, lower middle or low income, upper middle or middle class, and that they make it, right? And they get to college, maybe their parents save for them. And so then you have a lot of people coming over from around the world to go to college. And then you've got our elite. But then we have where the rest of the world, primary school is more comprehensive. We seem to be passing our children. They just let them go, That's why the whole Johnny can't read thing came up. It's like these kids are getting to high school and they can't read. They're functionally illiterate. It's like, how does this happen? Well, it's the same thing that's happening in your country with all your professors and stuff. They're just going crazy. I mean, the things that they're teaching, they've gotten rid of humanities studies. They focus too much on math and science and not enough on the things about humans, about our nature, about who we are. They put the focus on things that bring them money. That's happening here too. It's odd, but it's like we're set up for that, right? I mean, you look at all the things that have come together when you look at from the Civil War. Civil War sends home 200,000 opium addicts because morphine's just used in the field for the first time, right? So those 200,000 opium addicts, you assume, will go home and either continue to raise children that they left or have children and attempt to raise families. Well, we know what happens to families that have drug addicts in them, right? I mean, we know that today.
What happens to them?
Well, I mean, there's dysfunction, right? There's dysfunction, there's codependency, there's often, a lot of problems. So if you figure since that time, we've just been multiplying. And if you look at it from an abstract view of Cain and Abel story, right? About the way generational dysfunction is passed when a man is unsatisfied with his sacrifices in life or the way his sacrifices have been perceived. I'm talking abstract. I'm not talking about a real God. I'm talking about just the story that was used to teach people this lesson. That's the story. And that's like 20,000 years ago, this story has its origin, and yet we're still doing it and still ignoring it. This is why I think this is important to explore, for us to explore. There are lessons in there that could be helpful, but people have to be willing to see patterns. They have to be willing to accept that, yeah, we've been seeing this. We've got far too much data, far too much recorded history now for us to not look back and say, that didn't work, let's leave it back there. But that did, let's bring it forward and let's see what else is working. Let's see who's doing good now and how can we incorporate that. because we've allowed the malevolence to take over. We've allowed greed to be our king.
Mm-hmm.
You know, at all costs. And, you know, people don't care if somebody else gets the shit under the stick because they figure somebody's disrespected them, somebody's given them shit, so why shouldn't everybody else get it? But the fact is, you know, when you're grown, when you don't want anybody to have to suffer the way you've suffered, that's the difference, right? It's misery loves company. We all go to what's familiar because we're not allowed to be vulnerable because, I mean, primally, and you know, we know that's a danger. So we've got something in the unconscious or the subconscious that's saying, don't be vulnerable, otherwise you're the limping gazelle. Right? But we're so out of touch with the
gazelle.
Yeah, I mean, if you take it at a primal level, right? There is that. See, we've got two distinct parts to our brain. You know, we've got the left and the right hemisphere. One is very logical. One is much more ethereal. One, you know, more creative. One has language in it. The other does not. And they do different things. And when they're connected, it seems like we have one brain doing, you know, everything. But in fact, people do survive having that separated. And there are some conditions, seizure conditions, where they have to separate the two hemispheres. And that you see the separation where you can put an object in the left hand, cover the right eye, the left eye will not see it, or vice versa. I don't remember which direction it goes in, but one of those sides is kind of considered like the soul brain or the God brain. You know, it's the one that doesn't happen, that you don't see, but it's in there. It's responsible for your dreams, and that's why we dream, because we worked shit out there. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, there is, and that can be one of the things that they talked about. Our old ancestors talked about. You know, this is the God, because what they're saying the God is the relationship. It's something bigger than all of us, right? It is not a person or anything that is deciding life for us. It's like I said, the way they say, the way I'm learning it is it's the sanctity of the way we treat each other, right? What's important, you know, both are available. You can be strong and do for yourself the way you want. You just pick something that is not only a benefit to you or to others. You know, it benefits not only you, but others as well. And there's a lot of things that will fall in that category. And you just would have to ask yourself that if you didn't want that, if you didn't want something that benefited you and somebody else, why? Why wouldn't you want that? I wouldn't even go past that in society, right?
People are assholes. People are bastards. People are greedy and selfish.
Yep. They sure are. And if we don't teach that, if we don't teach people that this was the whole thing that Jung said, right? Carl Jung said, he talked about the shadow self and recognizing the monster within you. And if you don't think for 1 second that you couldn't be a Nazi prison guard, is the way I heard it, then you're fooling yourself. Because
I agree. But but not even to go to that extreme. I think that over the last couple of millennia of culture, there have been generation upon generation of generation of cultures like let's say the gypsies. They pass along gifts to their youngers on how to shoplift and how to cheat,
how to con people,
how to con, and how to, you know, like it's not something. It's a cultural thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it happens here in North America too. I'm not blaming the gypsies. You know, you can take people who are wealthy families who are every, you know, generation after generation after generation, they're wealthy families, and those are the kind of people who teach the kids to do petty crime, shoplifting, and this and that and the other. You know,
And they don't have to actively teach it. They just have to see their parents.
They see their parents doing it. Exactly.
Right. You know, my second husband worked with a partner on the ambulance who was a 5th generation welfare recipient. Nobody in his family had had a job before him. Isn't that crazy?
I believe it. No, I believe it.
Yeah. Well, and you know, there's the story, right? The lore goes that, I mean, the Adam and Eve story is really, to me, that's I really feel good about the twist. And you figure if there's 40,000 different denominations of Christianity, certainly if we spin this, that we assume that this is how the original story goes based on what they find in other cultures, right? And then you put it together like the flood is Gilgamesh, basically. But when you look at those things and you go, wait a minute, there's a reason, right? The whole Adam and Eve story, the reason that Eve has pain is because the human head is so much bigger than other animals. And also she's responsible for taking care of the babies because human animals are dependent far longer than any other, you know, mammal on the parent, right? Because, you know, you got to keep them for quite a while. And that Adam's, of course, Adam and Eve didn't exist, but Adam's, now that he is a conscious being and he understands that there's cause and effect and that he can contribute to that cause and effect and that he is responsible, that he will care for her, right? And she has to trust him when she's at her most vulnerable. And the lesson, the original sin lesson, is that they both knew better, right? That and they did it anyways, and then they lied. And that is the lesson. Don't do that, people. Take responsibility for what you do. You are human now, and you're not so big and bad. You have a consciousness, so don't go running into the ocean, because that ocean is much more powerful than you, and it will take you out of the game if you're not careful. And work together and be fair to each other.